Hey guys, hello everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. It is Friday. We made it to the weekend, except for those of us who work on the weekends. That's all right. We do what we got to do. I hope everybody has had a good week. I apologize for not having the Missing Person Monday live stream Monday. I had some stuff going on, but barring any unforeseen things coming up, we should be back Monday night with our Missing Person Monday. Hope everybody is staying cool in this heat. Seriously, it's been horrible everywhere from down south all the way up north to the East Coast. The heat has just been awful, awful, awful. But we'll make it. We'll make it. Just be sure to stay indoors when you can, drink plenty of water, the same old yada, yada, yada. Everybody knows. Oh, let's see who we got here tonight. Chris is here. Hello, Chris. Good to see you. Miss Paula is here. Hello, Miss Paula. Miss Paula's going to be excited, and I did message her. Was it last night, Miss Paula? Sometime yesterday, because we're going to have some West Memphis 3 news. Nothing earth-shattering, but there is something happening, or should be happening in the near future. So we'll have a little bit about that. We're going to talk about for anybody that knows about the Jodi Huisentruit. I have to slow down when I say her last name. The Jodi Huisentruit case. The 30th. Yesterday has been 30 years. Yesterday's the 26th, right? 30 years since Jodi went missing. So we're talking about that. And I got some other stuff, some missing persons, of course, some cold cases, the usual, and anything else you guys want to talk about, just pop it in chat, and we will talk about it. If you're watching replay, hello, replay crew. We love our replay crew. Thank you so much. Everybody watching replay and live, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. It does help the algorithm, allegedly. Oh, so let's see. Who else do we got? All right, making sure my Oh, there we go. Takes a minute for my fingers crossed. I probably shouldn't even say anything. Fingers crossed. Everything is working relatively well right now, including the computer, StreamYard on both the phone and the computer. So hopefully it will last. All right. I think I saw some. Oh, there's Miss Dandy. Come on, there she is. You changed your picture. I like that. She says, "Whoop whoop! I made it live. Welcome back, Miss Dandy. I'm always thinking about you. Don't see you around much anymore, but that's all right. We all got stuff we got to do. Stuff we got to do. But it is always good to see Miss Dandy. Oh, Miss Lisa Joe, and I like Miss Lisa Joe changed her. Hello, Miss Lisa Joe. L-Joe, F-A-F-O. I got you. I hear you. But she says she is way over on the other side of Wisconsin for retriever field trials. So you got the doggies out. Got the puppies out. Nice. There's Mustang. Hello, Mustang. Good to see you. Always good to see you. There's Miss PJ. Hello, Miss PJ. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Well, except on Facebook and community post. Haven't seen Miss PJ in a while. Good to see you. Miss PJ says she's actually awake. I am for now. For now. So if I start nodding off, y'all just knock on the wake up, wake up. Oh, I should be fine. Miss Paula says she agrees with me about something, maybe the West Memphis 3, and it finally cooled down in New Hampshire. Good to hear that. Yeah, I think this heat wave, whatever they calling it, is kind of going to start moving out, and we get a little bit cooler temperatures. I said here in Arkansas we may even get some rain. We have chances of rain. Of course, during this time of year we always have just small chances of rain, just in the heating of the afternoon. Sometimes some thunder showers pop up, but it's always good to get some rain. There's Arctic. Hey, guy. How are you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Always good to see Arctic. And I noticed that, was it you and Miss Barbara and Doodle had a live stream earlier? I'm going to have to be replay crew on that, because I worked later than I intended to today. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to watch that replay and see what's going on there. Mustang says, okay, I'm trying to read. When did they start putting the at? Oh, I don't know. I just noticed that. Yeah, in front of y'all's names in chat. Yeah, it's got like the at symbol before the names now. I don't know. There's no telling. Just like everything else. Facebook's always updating. Can't talk. YouTube updates, and anyway. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss anybody. So like I said, if you guys got anything that you want to talk about, Amber Alerts, which we'll be talking about the, what's her last name? The Fischer, Rochelle and Alan Fischer, ones that are missing. We'll be talking about them. I know, as far as I know, and I haven't had time to check, I'm assuming that they're still missing. So we'll be talking a little bit about them tonight, of course. Yeah, just whatever you guys want to talk about, because I probably missed a lot. I haven't been doing a lot. I say everything's working well tonight, knock on wood, but just like for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, it's just like everything is just slow. I mean, the cell service is slow. I tried to get videos recorded and I couldn't get StreamYard to work. So I don't know what it is. I'd read there are some solar flares that have been going around lately, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. But anyway, like I said, things are working well as of right now. Just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. There's Miss Doodle. Hello. Back to you, beautiful human. Yeah, I was just saying, I noticed that you and Arctic and Miss Barb was doing a live stream earlier. I'm gonna definitely be replay crew. to hear what's going on there. Artist said he put the Fox signal out for Doodle, so she should be here. Oh, so you have the Fox signal instead of the bat signal. I like that. Oh goodness. Oh, thank you, Miss Doodle. Yeah, I didn't. Of course, I hardly ever blow dry my hair, so I think it's finally starting to dry out a little bit from when I washed it when I got home. But thank you so much. I'm just not. I don't wear my hair even when it's short. I don't wear my hair down a whole lot. I've always worn it up because before I started cutting it short when I was younger, I used to wear it like long, like between, almost to my butt long, that kind of long. But I hardly ever wear it down anymore. But I said, yeah, I'll just wear it down tonight. So thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Let's see. Yep. See, everybody's saying great live earlier. Miss Barb and Arctic and Doodle. I'm definitely gonna have to watch it. Absolutely. Gonna have to watch it. PJ says he goes from summer to winter in New Hampshire. Gotta love it, New England. Yeah. I guess you can just, say about everywhere, stick around 5 minutes and the weather will change. I just wish we would get some, uh-oh. I disappeared off the computer. Anyway, I just wish we could get some cooler weather here. At least a little bit of spring and a little bit of fall. Seems like we go straight from winter to summer, summer to winter. We don't get that nice in between, where you can open the windows and let the nice cool air in the spring and the springtime and fall. We hardly ever get that. Mustang says it rained a bit in northwest Arkansas. Yeah, oh goodness. See, I shouldn't have said anything. Now it says my computer says it's having trouble connecting to but anyway. Yeah, down here I'm in central Arkansas. They said we should have, a chance, maybe a little bit more chance tomorrow of some pop-up thunderstorms and some rain. Dandy says school is out. It's party on, summertime. Lots to do in Colorado. Miss everyone, but I'm a busy gal. Absolutely, I understand. Yep, we are all busy. Yep, busy with the kiddos out of school, and a lot of times during the summer you'll have family. You'll either go out of state to visit family, or you'll have family come visit you. Yep, understandable, my dear. That's why I think maybe that's why I kind of slow things down a little bit. Maybe during the summer, don't do as many live streams, and which I don't do a whole lot of live streams. I do usually the Missing Person Monday, and then like every other Friday or so, we'll do this. But yeah, understandable. Oh, I would love to join y'all, Miss Doodle. Miss Doodle said, I would love for you to join us one day. Absolutely. You just let me know when and where, and I will be there. Absolutely. Would love to. Thank you. Arctic says that will be awesome. I don't know if you're talking about me. If I missed something, that'd be awesome to have her on a round table. Yeah, just like I said, let me know whenever I'll be there. Yes, Mustang says YouTube needs to update troll blockers. Yeah, absolutely. It is always good to see you too, Miss Paula. We love Miss Paula. Artist said that one is crazy. I don't know. Are you talking about the Fischer siblings? I think one of them's 13 and one of it's a boy and a girl. One of them is like around 13, the other one's around 15. Yeah, it's from what I've read, because I've been seeing the other creators and stuff have been posting stuff about it, and I've been trying to read up on it. Yeah, it's just very crazy and wild. Doodles says Missouri weather last in this year has been way off. Yeah, I think weather has just been off, period. See, I thought I'd read that. Miss PJ said the solar system does affect electronics. That's what I've heard, that when they have what they call like these solar flares or coronal ejections or whatever it is that come out, they say it does interrupt the or mess with the satellites and the electronic devices and such. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. Yes, Arctic says that it's just that Arkansas moves at the speed of frozen molasses. True. Oh, Dave was in there? Yeah, I've got to make it back to Dave's live stream tomorrow night. I've got to. Got to. Glad Dave was there. Welcome, Tide Pride 1981. Good to have you here. It's a new name for me, unless it's somebody that's changed their name. And if it is, you can let me know if I know you or not under a different name. But good to have you here. Yeah, but Miss PJ says she misses a lot of lives. I do too, just between my work and then I get home and, eat supper, spend time with mom. We watch some TV and it's just, but I'm on a replay crew a lot. But hey, that is, Doodle wants to know where her buddy Echoes is. I think this, because this week, forgot the exact date, is Echoes and Mrs. Echoes, they had their anniversary. And they were going to go to, I believe, Punta Cana or somewhere. They're going to Mexico somewhere to some resort to celebrate their anniversary. I think it was this weekend that they were going. So they're probably sitting out on a beach or somewhere having some drinky drinks and enjoying themselves. Oh goodness. But yeah, it was their anniversary, whatever day it was this week. Oh, okay, there we go. I know, patriotism. That's patriotism. Gotcha. Good to see you, patriotism. I know who you are definitely now. See, that's why I always ask, did you change your name? Or is it somebody I know or somebody new? Oh, but welcome, patriotism. Good to have you here. Miss Paula said it's been 25 years since Molly Bish went missing. We might have to talk about her. We got some time at the end or somewhere in between. We'll look at that case. I have heard of that case. I haven't deep dived into it to get all the details, but yes, I've definitely heard of that one. Let's see. Just getting caught up. Yeah, Arctic says, well, we went here in Arkansas, we went from an easy bake oven to a rainforest in a matter of a few hours today. Yes. And see, this one thing, it's nice that we do need rain. The farmers need rain. I think they finally managed to get the planting, the crops planted, because all that tons of rain that we had last month when it would not stop raining, they couldn't get the fields planted. So now it stopped for a while. So I think they've managed, at least around here on this farm, where I'm at, all the farmers, I think, have managed to get everything planted and it's growing. So now they do need the water, the natural water. So they won't have to pump water in for the crops. But yeah, we need the water. But then again, like Arctic said, it's already in the middle to upper 90s real temperature. And then with the heat index, anywhere from 105 to 110 heat index. And you just have a little shower go through and it's just like a sauna. Makes it like a sauna or the rainforest. Oh, but anyway. Doodle says she's so squirrely. There's Miss Barbara. Hello, Miss Barb. Good to have you here, ma'am. And I told them that I saw that you and Arctic and Doodle did a live stream earlier. I'll definitely be replay crew. Absolutely. So everybody check out all these creators in here. Miss Barb's channel. It's Timmy's Legacy. Everybody's got a wrench in here. Y'all can throw in links. Arctic, Doodle, Lighting Their Way Home, Miss PJ. Yeah. Y'all can stick your links in. Absolutely. Patriotism says, is there anything new about the Shannon Polk case? I don't know. I will have to look that up. Once again, that's one I've heard of, but I don't think I've deep dived that one. Where is it from? What state is it from? And we can definitely look at it. Yeah, Miss Barbara says she missed Friday night get-togethers. Yes, it's our date night. This is Miss Barbara's date night. We're her for a Friday night date. Yeah, last week I didn't do it last week because every other weekend we do family game night, and so last Friday was our family game night Friday, so we did that. Had a lot of fun as always. So we are here tonight. We are here tonight. Just getting caught up. Just when I think I get caught up. Yes. Danny says the humidity of the Bible Belt is too much. Is why I don't visit. I know. I know. Yep. There's JP. Hello, friend. Says long time. Yes, it has been a while. Was it what the last live stream I did was probably 2 weeks ago now, or the Monday before last, Missing Person Monday live stream, because I didn't do one this Monday. But yes, and I haven't had time to get it done yet, but JP, I did post it on my community wall. But JP did a Southern Gal true crime song. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to make, I think I'm going to start using it for the intros to my live streams, and possibly a part of it as intros to my videos that I do. Because, and I don't know, I've actually checked my email the other day, and I don't know how many emails from YouTube about copyright, which is no problem, because, you know, if I usually monetize the videos and stuff, but if they're not monetized, that's fine. So I don't know if it's the music I use in the little intro video I do for my short videos, or if the little outro little video that I do. I don't know. I haven't figured out which music it is. That is copyrighted. You know, it's not. They said it's not a strike on the channel. It's something about you're sharing the revenue with whoever the holder of the copyright is. I told JP, because he was asking me some things about what he wanted me to, or I wanted him to do about, you know, the song he did for me. I'm like, I don't understand all the copyright and so just do whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna have to apparently find some different music to use for my videos. But anyway, okay, Miss Doodle says she made a video on the Idaho Amber Alert. Okay. Yep. Thank you to everybody that is throwing in links. Just getting caught up. There's Miss Marion Tate. Hello, Miss Marion. Good to see you. Just hello, everyone. Just want to thank you all for what you do in supporting the families for loved ones. Absolutely. Thank you for all you guys do. Sharon. That is the most important thing all of us can do, is share. Share. It's good to see Miss Marion. Haven't seen you in a while. Yes, for anybody who's just coming in, Tide Pride is patriotism. So, thank you, ma'am. Yep. Me and my mom and my brother and a couple of friends get together on game night every other Friday for family game night, because on the Fridays that we don't have family game night, my brother just has friends from the church that he goes to their house. They go to different houses and play games for their game night. So we do ours every other Friday night. It's always so much fun. So much fun. But thank you, Doodle. I appreciate that. Yes, I have a wonderful family. Absolutely. Yeah, we had to find somebody else to pick on. So I say you can pick on the other brother, but I don't know what he's doing tonight. He's probably in bed. He works at a rice mill, and they're doing what they call shutdown this weekend. Well, I don't know if he had to do it. I know he had to do it starting Wednesday this week. He basically had to work, I think, from like 5 or 6 in the morning until 5 or 6 at night. They do fumigation and stuff during shutdown. So anyway, he might be sleeping already. Hello, Miss Heidi. And I know that picture because Miss Heidi comments on a lot of my videos and stuff. So thank you. She says, hello all. I never make the lives. Thrilled and thank you for the efforts for the missing and their families. You have such a caring heart. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And I appreciate you and everybody else who comments on the videos because that does help the algorithm too. Everything does. Liking them, sharing them, commenting on them. And Miss Heidi is always just so sweet and always has such a good comment and you know, on the videos. So I'm glad you made the live. I was excited to have you here. Absolutely. Just getting caught up. I love to chat. See, that's why I like doing these, like our True Crime After Dark, so kind of a little bit looser format than the Missing Person Monday, because Missing Person Monday, of course, we want to get all the as much information out as we can, which we want to do here too, but it's kind of looser. I like to chat a little bit more with the, interact a little bit with the chat and whatever you guys have got going on. Make sure I say hello to everybody and try to keep up with everybody's comments. So I'm just getting caught up and then we will get started. Absolutely. Thank you, Mustang. Justice for Timmy D's. I'm so excited to, I was going to wait. It depends on how long we stay here, how late it is when we get off here. I might have to watch it. May start watching it tonight, and if I accidentally fall asleep, I'll finish watching it tomorrow when I get home from work. Because I definitely want to hear what Miss Barb and everybody had to say on that live stream tonight earlier. Absolutely. John Paul says he'll be right back. Absolutely. Okay, Chris says Shannon Polk is an Alabama case. Absolutely. I will look at it. Yes. Has anybody had a Mr. Steve sighting lately or heard from him? I'm assuming he's still out doing the good work, as we say. Working on these cold cases or whatever cases he's working on right now. Thank you. Yes, and there's also, so this was, hold on. So yeah, there's True Crime Web, which is Mr. Steve. Alan the Proud Day is Dave. Absolutely go visit Dave. Of course, we got Arctic and Doodle. That happened to me too. Doodle said Facebook is weird. It gave me a professional dashboard. No clue why. That happened to me too when I logged into my Southern Gal account, because I have my personal account, and then I have my Southern Gal True Crime account. And on my Southern Gal account, it says something about asking me if I wanted to, switch it over to a business account or a professional business account or something. I just told them no. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Oh, so I don't know, but I think I switched it back over to, I don't know if they switched it or it asked me if I wanted to switch, and I just kept it as a personal or whatever the other option was. But yeah, everything's screwy. Yeah, Doodle says, I hope it's not a money thing. I'm not sure how to find out. Yeah, we might have to look into that. Absolutely. Miss Paula says it's to promote your business, or I think YouTube channel. Yeah. Yeah, because I know, because way back when, before I got on YouTube and I was doing making my jewelry and stuff, of course I had a page that I shared my jewelry on to sell my jewelry through. And then I used to do just pages just about different subjects. And I don't even think any of that's the same anymore. So but I know I've seen on different people's pages where if you have so many followers or subscriber or whatever it is, like on a page, not really a personal profile, but a page, that they can send you stars, which basically I guess equals money or something. But you have to set, just like here on YouTube, when you get if you're monetized, you got to set everything up, and so I'm assuming that it might have something to do with that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that though. Let's see. Getting caught up. Miss Barbara's going to Crazy Town. Can we go with you? I'll go. Instead of to Funky Town, we're going to Crazy Town. Thelma and Louise. Yeah, Like Thelma, oh goodness. So you're saying you, I guess Doodle and Miss Barb are going to be Thelma and Louise version 2.0. Oh goodness. Artie says, if y'all take out a deer on the way, I want jerky. Oh goodness. That is funny. Sorry, everything, comments just popped up or jumped up on me again. Oh, Mr. Steve was? Mr. Steve was in earlier live? Good, good, good. Awesome. I hope he is doing well. I hope he's getting some rest, at least. Getting some rest. Lisa, yes, Lisa just says I'm already there in Crazy Town. I'm there with you, sister. All right, I think I'm caught up. So we will get into, get my slideshow up here. There we go. Get a drink. Stomach came for a minute. So yeah, so tonight, missing persons as always. We got a couple of or maybe one or two, at least one missing persons cold case, maybe two. I think I have a solved homicide cold case that I'm going to share with you guys. Of course, we got the West Memphis 3 news, and we'll be talking about Jodi Huisentruit. Yesterday, the 26th, was the 30th year that she's been missing. She went missing on June 26, 1995. So we'll be talking about that. But first, actually, I wanted to start out with some good news from here in Arkansas. We've had now the other day we had an Amber Alert for this there on the left-hand side of the slide, that beautiful little angel face you see there, little Adam Wilson. He was 1 year old. It was believed that he was taken by, I believe, his mother in Arctic. You can correct me if I'm wrong, or anybody else in the Arkansas area who's heard about it. But he has been found safe, and I'm assuming returned to whatever family member was supposed to have him. And I think from everything I can, there was some confusion yesterday, or at least on my part. On the right is Jonte Williams. She had been missing, I believe, since February of this year. But when I checked on the updates yesterday, it said I was on Facebook, and the Morgan Nick, and this picture here came from the Morgan Nick Foundation Facebook page. It said that she'd been found safe. So I'm like, great, awesome. You know, it's always good when people are found safe. But then that evening, because I looked at that yesterday afternoon, and then on our 5 o'clock local news, they had to report that she was still missing. So I'm like, but then I checked her NamUs page again this morning, and her NamUs page is not there anymore. It says like this page is unavailable. So I'm going to assume and hopefully look on the bright side, and hopefully that means that she has been found safe. So that's some good news. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always good. You know, a lot of times we don't get to bring a whole lot of good news. But it's always good. Makes me happy. Makes all of us happy when we have some good news to bring. Arctic says, talking about Jodi, I'm just going to call her Jodi Huisentruit, says, I still say John Van Cease is responsible for Jodi's disappearance. Yeah. And I'm going to read when we talk about that, because for years and years, because the latest that had come up was, on Jodi's case, was that because Van Cease has passed away. He passed away, I think, some years ago. And he had always been like a person of interest, main suspect, maybe, main person of interest at the very least. So in the last few years, maybe the last year or so, his family, Van Cease's family, had actually been fighting to get the court records or the affidavit or whatever it was unsealed, or probable cause, whatever, to try to prove, see what was in there, to try to prove that he didn't have anything to do with it. Well, then on the other hand, please correct me, anybody, if I'm wrong, if I'm getting this wrong. But on the other hand, Jodi's family did not want these records unsealed because they were afraid that it might hinder or mess up, because it's still an ongoing investigation as far as I know. But her family didn't want the records, the affidavit, probable cause, whatever it was, unsealed because they were afraid that it would mess up the investigation, in some form or fashion. But I think maybe last year, they did unseal the records, so we'll be kind of taking a look at an article talking about the records. And basically, I don't think it was a whole lot of information that was in it. I think they tracked his Vencese's GPS on 2 of his vehicles, maybe I guess to see where he was, maybe. But anyway, we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I still, I've been kind of leaning toward Vence's too, a little bit of and then her family years ago, Jodi's family hired this private investigator. I think his name is John Ridge or something Ridge, has been working on it a long, long time. And Vince, he says, and according to him, I've read a couple of articles, interviews with him. He's basically narrowed it down, I think, to 4 people, and Vince, I think, was one of them. But yeah, I've always kind of. And he says it may have something to do with jealousy, maybe on Vencesa's part, or, But anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry. Y'all tell me to shut up. Yes, Miss Paula says, talking about Jonte says, happy she has been found safe. Absolutely. Yes, Arctic says he was thrilled when Adam was found safe. Okay, so Jonte was indeed found safe. Excellent. Yeah, I was kind of unsure. I'm like, because like I said, the local news was saying one thing, and then, because the Morgan Nick Foundation is an official organization, an official page, and, you would think that they would know. But then when I looked at the name, it went back and looked at her NamUs profile or her NamUs, and it wasn't there anymore. I was thinking, okay, so hope, she's been found safe. But yes, always good when they are found safe. Yes, Miss Heidi says 30 years ago for Jodi, where did the time go? I know, back in 1995. 95. Oh, JP is back, and he said it is much better. In no way not shut up. Oh, you don't want me to shut up? I feel like I'm babbling tonight. I don't know. That's okay. That's all right. Okay. So let me mark. Hold on. So I don't get too many things going on here. Okay, so we had our 2 found safe. Little Adam and Miss Jonte have been found safe. On the other hand, we still have this, once again, Arkansas, Miss Joynell Brandon. As far as I know, I was checking yesterday. She has still not been found. I have done a short video on her, so you can go to my playlist. The missing playlist is what it's called. Is where I put this. Where I try to I've been trying to organize the channel and try to get things in playlist. But I have done a short video on her, and then we've talked about her in several live streams. But she is still missing, unfortunately. But she's a 43-year-old Black female. She's been missing from Pine Bluff, Arkansas since May 13th of this year, 2025. She was last seen on University Avenue in Pine Bluff. She was wearing black leggings, a black and gold blouse, and she was carrying a rainbow-colored purse. So they say that's one of the things to be on the lookout for anybody in that Pine Bluff area, And sorry, I'm trying to read off my little screen. She has a nose ring. This has another thing to be on the lookout for, is a nose ring. And she does have visible scarring from burns down the right side of her neck and her right arm. So they say between the purse, as far as anything she had with her, and then as far as she goes, physical, the nose ring, and then the scarring, are things to keep a lookout for. She does have a diagnosed mental health condition. She does not have her required medication with her, which is always concerning, obviously. Sorry, it's hot in here, guys. I might have to end up putting my hair up. Oh, it's hot. So if you have any information, you can contact local authorities immediately. 911, always your best bet. Or you can call if you live in that area and happen to have the number, you can call the Pine Bluff Police Department at 870-541-5300. So that is Miss Joynell, and I think we did talk about it in our live stream, maybe probably the last True Crime After Dark live stream I did, because I played a video, an interview with her son and her daughter, talking about the night she went missing. It was just so, hold on, don't wipe my face off. Just so heartbreaking, obviously. So yeah, so that's probably right now here in Arkansas. Our of course, all missing are important, but this one, Miss Joynell has probably, since little Adam and Miss Jonte have been found, Miss Joynell is probably the one or she is the one that's still out there. So, did I miss somebody? Hold on. Oh, there's Michelle C. Hello, Michelle. Oh. Hello, Michelle. Good to see you, ma'am. Haven't seen you in a while. It is good to see you. Okay, Arctic says he hasn't seen any updates on Miss Joynell. Yeah, I said I looked yesterday because I didn't work yesterday. I went back to work today because it's just been so hot. I mean, I went out for a few hours at the beginning of the week, just maybe 2 or 3 hours. It was just so hot. Sorry guys, I want to get it off my neck. That's what makes me hot on my neck. Anyway, but yeah, the last thing I found was just from, I think, May, a couple of months ago or last month, just the interviews with the kids. And so she's the one that she had went to a friend's house. It's supposed to have been a longtime family friend. You know, the daughter, MJ, her Miss Joynell's daughter, said, you know, he's very trustworthy. We've known he's been the family friend a long time. She was supposed to have been at his house, and then she was supposed to have, according to whatever his name, that's never given his name, understandably, because he's, as far as I know, not a person of interest or whatever. I mean, I'm sure they've talked to him, but he said that she left his house and got into a vehicle with I'm assuming a male. I think it said a male in a white box truck. So to me, that's just kind of stood out as, you know. And after that, and I think at some point, I don't know if it was before or after that, she had called her daughter, MJ, to said, come let her in, or to leave the door unlocked. And MJ said, or texted. And MJ, her daughter, said, you know, my mom, that's not how my mom texts. Why would she do that? So they don't think that it was actually her. I just got the impression that they don't think it was actually Miss Joynell that was sending those texts. And at any rate, she never came home, has not been seen since. So, and that, like I said, that's the last, like Arctic said, no more updates since then. So we're going to keep her name and her face out there, and we'll hopefully we'll have a positive outcome. What JP is organizing mountains? Oh, JP is organizing mountains. Yes, I'm trying to read off my little screen with my little, well, because I'm on StreamYard. If you never used StreamYard before, it's the part that you guys actually see on full screen is just a little bitty part of the like computer screen and phone screen. So it's very much smaller. It's not like the whole laptop screen or I think on the phone you can make it full screen, but then I wouldn't be able to see chat or anything. But yeah, it's me and my old eyes, you know, sometimes I have a little bit of trouble reading. All right. So that is Miss Joynell. All right, so what do we have next? Okay, so speaking of anniversaries or birthdays in this case, Jeremy Lawrence, he went missing from Duluth or Mountain Iron, Minnesota. Yesterday, the 26th, was his 41st birthday. And I'm going to have to make this really, when I read and I might have a separate playlist just for Jeremy. But I know I've talked about him in numerous live streams. I believe I did do a short video. So check the playlist if you haven't heard about this case. But his mom, Miss Debbie, which unfortunately, I think within the last year or year and a half, Jeremy's father passed away also. So I try to keep in touch through Facebook with Miss Debbie, and, because, it's hard, obviously. But she posted this yesterday on Jeremy's birthday. She said, today is Jeremy's 41st birthday. Please continue to pray that someone who knows what happens finds it in their heart to let us know. A mother's heart does not heal, it just waits. And then at the bottom, she says, not a day goes by that I don't think of you. My love for you is endless and unconditional. I love you, Jeremy, Mom. So I thought that was just very sweet. And Miss Debbie is like I said, I've just communicated with her just through Facebook, but she's just a sweet, sweet lady, just all the way around. And just God bless her and the rest of the family for everything, not just, Jeremy's been missing, and then her husband passed away within, I think, the last maybe year or so. So it's tough times. But anyway, so let me see if I can make this big enough to maybe read some of this. So on August 20th of 2023, Jeremy visited his girlfriend and newborn daughter at St. Mary's Medical Center in Duluth, Minnesota. After spending time with him, he left the hospital around 5:30 p.m., planning to ride his yellow, and that I believe the smaller picture is the four-wheeler. He's planning to ride his yellow and black Can-Am four-wheeler to his parents' home in Mountain Iron. Sorry, I had to make it a little bit bigger. Goodness, and I got everything going on. The four-wheeler he was riding had distinctive black spray paint on the front fender and a black milk crate, probably bungee cord or tied on the front of it. Since his disappearance, there's been no trace of Jeremy or the ATV, the four-wheeler, at all, or his phone. There's been no activity on his bank cards. Jeremy's mother, Miss Debbie, recalled receiving a text from him at around 7:30 p.m. on August 20th, 2023, that read, quote, I'll call you in a bit. Concerned as time passed, Jeremy still did not make it, didn't come home. Miss Debbie tried calling him numerous times between 9 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. And sometime during one of those calls between 9 and 9:30, someone answered the phone and said, stop calling. Now, if I remember correctly, I think she is unsure, or maybe said it wasn't Jeremy. Or maybe he said, I can't remember. It's been, we've got so many cases. But at any rate, if it was Jeremy, he said, just basically stop calling me. So that kind of gave her the impression that something might have been going on. So, of course, Miss Debbie said she had a very strange feeling that he was somewhere with someone else. And later that night, she called back at around 11 p.m. But by that time, Jeremy's phone had went dead, and it has never been turned back on. So that is just the in a nutshell version. Of course, there's a little bit, a few other details to it. But like I said, I believe probably Arctic's probably done things. Doodle, I'm sure all of us have done something, a video or something of that nature on Jeremy's case. But yeah, so just go watch it. Just Google or go to YouTube or Google and put in Jeremy Lawrence. And but yeah, so yesterday was his birthday, so I just wanted to mention him. And Miss Debbie had posted this post, and I just commented, the family still in thoughts and prayers, absolutely, and that I was going to be talking about him tonight to help keep his name and his face and his story out there, because never forgotten. That's our motto around here. So hopefully one of these days soon, the family can get some answers. Absolutely. Oh, sorry, trying to get my anyway. All right, so that is Jeremy. Sorry, I wiped my face. It is, and it was not hot in here until I started doing this, and then it's like the heat It's like the heat came on. All right. So next, we're going to talk a little bit about Lilly Abner. Let me get her article up. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Oh, I already had it up. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So this is Lillian or Lilly Abner. I'm just going to read an article. You can see well, let me read the basic information first. Once again, make the screen bigger. So the Covington Police Department is attempting to locate a missing 17-year-old juvenile, Lillian Abner. Lillian was last seen on Warren Street in Covington, Kentucky on February 18th of 2025. She was last seen wearing black tights and a black coat. She has multiple tattoos, including a cross on her left middle finger. So if you have any information regarding her whereabouts, contact the Covington Police Department at 859-292-2222, or obviously you can call 911. So I do have an article, I believe that was from this month. Yes, it's from June, just a few days ago, June 24th of this year. Sorry, got to get ads out of the way. These ads kill me. So family members are still searching for 17-year-old Lilly Abner. Lilly went missing on February 18th on Warren Street in Covington, Kentucky. Her cousin, Sierra Carter, said that she plans to set up a search party on Friday. So I'm assuming that would have been today, because this is from the 24th, and what's today? Today's the 27th. So I'm assuming they had that search at some point today. Sierra says she could really be hurt, and how would we know unless we keep doing what we need to do to get answers? We need answers, absolutely. Sierra said in February, she searched the area where Lilly was last seen and found nothing except for a small amount of what she believed to be blood. Now, if it is or not, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't done a deep dive into this case either. She says, Sierra says that she and Lilly went from talking daily to just like complete silence overnight. Sierra says, every night, every morning, I'm quick to be on my phone and I see nothing. Sierra explained that she believes that it's possible that Lilly ran away, but is obviously impossible to know what happened without having any kind of confirmation of that. She pleaded with Lilly that if she did run away, please come home. She pleaded with anyone who knows something about Lilly's disappearance to come forward. If you know something, say something. If you saw something, say something. You guys know. Sierra said that she will continue to search for Lilly. She says, I can't stop. Every day I wake up thinking about her. Every night I go to sleep crying about her. I can't keep feeling this way until I know that she is okay. This breaks my heart. So Sierra says that she will be organizing a search party for Lilly on Friday, which once again, I'm assuming today, at the Covington Police Department. Once again, Lilly was last seen with black hair, but her natural hair color is red. She was wearing a gray t-shirt and gray leggings with a black puffer coat when she was last seen. So once again, anyone with information is asked to call the Covington Police Department or 911. So that is the latest that I have found on Lilly. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying Lilly for some reason. Lilly. I love that name, but for some reason I can't say it. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Forgot to make myself like, where did my chat go? Okay. All right, I think we're still caught up. So that was Lilly. Okay, so these are the Alan Fischer and Rochelle Fischer. I'm gonna have to make it really big if I can see it. So this is from Idaho, right? But But I'm just going to give you their statistics first. On the left is Alan Fischer. They've both been missing since June 22nd of this year, 2025, from Mountain View, Idaho. Alan is 13-year-old, white male, blonde hair, blue eyes, 5'9", 135 pounds. He was last seen wearing a blue shirt and blue jeans. On the right is Rochelle. Now, if it's Rochelle or just an alternate spelling of Rachel. So if anybody in chat, let me know. But she is 15 years old, white female, green eyes and brown hair. She is 5'5", 135 pounds. Okay, so he's 5'9", she's 5'5". Okay, 135 pounds. She was last seen wearing a green dress. And they described it as like, and I'm sure anybody who's been keeping up with this case has seen the pictures, like a green prairie dress, or what some people would call like old-timey clothing. I guess it's part of the, because this has to do with the FDLS, FLDS, Latter-day Saints thing. So they dress, in a certain way, in a certain fashion. It says how they are traveling is unclear. Once again, they were last seen at around 7 p.m. on June 22nd in Montview, Idaho. And this article that I'm going to read has a little bit more information about when they were where they were last seen at. It says they may be headed to an FLDS group in Minden, Utah. And they're thinking that they're with some of their adult siblings. So obviously, if you have any information, as it says, call 911. And this is the Amber Alert from NCMEC that's on the screen there. All right, so Paula wants to know, are you talking about this case or Lillian's case, Miss Paula? Just let me know. But if it's Lillian, I don't know. According to the her cousin in the article, her cousin believes that it's a possibility that she could have ran away. But that's one thing about not knowing is we don't know what we don't know. But yeah, I don't know. In my mind, I always treat everything as suspicious in my mind, but that's just me. All right, so let me find this article that I had. Should have already had it going. So as the audio and video and stuff, pretty much par for what I have here. If it gets really bad at any point, just let me know, because I can't tell by looking on the phone. All right, so this is from NBC News, and it is from, stop it with the ads. It was posted June 26th. So yesterday. It says Idaho officials are looking for 2 missing teenagers connected to the fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Alan LaRonde Fischer, 13, and Rochelle LaRae Fischer, 15, were reported missing Sunday from Montview, Idaho. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office said the teens are believed to have left Montview and possibly returned to Trenton, Utah, where they had previously lived. Officials said they most likely went missing between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Sunday, which had been, what's today? Friday, this past Sunday. Idaho State Police released an Amber Alert for them. Alan, once again, is described as 5'9", 135 pounds, with longer, sandy blonde hair and blue eyes. He was last seen wearing a blue shirt and blue jeans. Rochelle is 5'5" and 135 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. And she was last seen in a green prairie dress. That's how they described it. And I have seen pictures, and does look like what a prairie dress. The sheriff's office said, quote, "It is believed that the children willingly left to return to Trenton, Utah due to religious beliefs. On Tuesday, the sheriff's office said it was not sure if they had left the state. Officials said at this time, we are unsure if they have left the immediate area or are still close by. The sheriff's office noted that their older sister, Alontra D. Fischer, who is 18, was also reported missing on January 1st of 2023. So apparently they're not the only ones who've been gone missing. And, quote, has not been located at this time. So we're going on over 2 years now. About 2.5 years now that she's been missing. Anyone with information on the whereabouts is asked to call the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office at 208-745-9210. So just a little for anybody who doesn't know about the FLDS. The FLDS is a polygamous sect that splintered from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and its adherents live in small towns on the Utah-Arizona border. FLDS is led by fundamentalist Mormon leader Warren Jeffs. We've all heard that name. He was arrested back in 2006. He has been serving a life sentence in Texas since 2011 for essaying children, girls, taking them as child brides, etc., etc. He is seen by many as the faith's current prophet. So Alan and Rochelle's mother, Elizabeth, said that she returned from her family Bible class Sunday night and discovered the two teens missing. She said, my children asked if they could go down to the shop to get on the internet so they could watch videos while I went to the Bible class. She says, I allowed them to do it, and that was not very smart of me. I let them go down there, and when I came back to get them, they were gone. Somebody came by the shop and hauled off with them. So I just want to say, in my opinion, no, it's not her fault. It's the fault of whoever took these children. But then, I understand she's probably, I don't want to try to explain how somebody else feels, but if it was me, I would, even though I would know in my mind that, it's not my fault, I would still have that guilt or, whatever. So the mother was part of the FLDS church, but she was exiled in 2020. She moved to Idaho after a lengthy custody battle for her 3 children with her ex-husband. She was awarded full custody of the children in 2021, and her ex-husband, Nephi Fischer, apparently has fought to get them back, according to reports. So what did I say her name was? Elizabeth. The mother, Elizabeth, believes that the kids' older siblings and other members of the FLDS did abduct Alan and Rochelle. She says, I believe they could have been watching, and it's my guess that they were lingering around in the neighborhood somewhere waiting for a chance to grab the children. I've seen their vehicles driving past my place, up and down the roads, even past the shop that the kids got picked up, on Friday. She says, I'm very concerned about their well-being, and of course, I'm missing them very badly. I'm heartbroken that they are gone. So the Uvalde Foundation for Kids, which is a national student advocacy and violence prevention group founded, once again, after the Uvalde incident, they have launched a multi-state effort to try to find Alan and Rochelle, and it is offering a $5,000 reward for their safe return. The group's search efforts will include canvassing neighborhoods where the teens were last seen and believed to be headed to, distributing flyers and gathering tip information. Daniel Chapin, the foundation's founder, says there is a unique, particularly elusive form of psychological violence, which we believe has been the force behind these 2 youth missing. We believe they have been abducted by this highly dangerous religious group, and we will go to every means possible to locate and bring them home safely. So that's just one. I just want to read that because had to interview with the mother. I always try to find interviews or statements from family members, but it's just so sad, obviously, as they all are, but so hoping for a good outcome. And I don't want to really get into it, but you can look it up. I did find several articles, and I don't understand the whole, I mean, I understand the basic concept of the FLDS, but I don't know how to say this without getting in trouble on YouTube. But apparently, and I don't know if this is true or not, I was reading one or two articles that I don't know something about. They believe that children, something about, I can't even come up with different words to say without getting thrown off YouTube. Just something very bad stuff to do with children, beyond just the essay, some kind of like ritualistic stuff. I said, I don't know if that's totally true or not. I've not delved into it that far, but at any rate, it's very, very scary. All right. Okay, Ms. Paul said the case before with this one. Oh, Lillian's. Like I said, in my mind, unless they're, in my mind, every disappearance is suspicious. Granted, a lot of them or some of them are just runaways, and they're usually found, within hours or at least a day or two. But you never know. We don't, like I said, we don't know what we don't know. So I'm sure that police in Lily's, whoever's working on Lily's case is done, covered all the bases and done all the interviews and everything that they're supposed to do. Miss Doodle said this one is so odd. Are you talking about Lilly or this one? Yes, Chris says the one involving the FLDS is a very scary case. Yeah, because like I said, I know the basic concept of what the FLDS is all about and was, built upon. Not in my opinion, not good stuff. Not good stuff. But yeah, just some things that I've been reading. Like I said, I don't know what exactly 100% true, but yeah, just some things that I've read is when I was researching this, looking through different articles. Very, very, some people liken them to like a cult kind of thing, religious cult kind of thing. But I'm sure just like any religion, it's got its, well, I don't know, and in most religions, you've got what I call the normal, the normal sect of religion, whatever religion, like Christianity. And this can go for any religion. And then you've got the extreme side of any religion. So, yes, Arctic says anything involving FLDS concerns me. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Chris said, I'm sorry if I'm messing with my hair, but says, I think they might be headed to a group tied to a loser who claims to be a fake prophet who's in federal prison for a very sick act. Yes, the Warren Jeffs. Yeah. He's not a good dude. Not a good dude, to put it bluntly, or to put it mildly. He is not a good dude. There's Tomboy Charm. Good to see you. Seeing all these people I haven't seen in here in a while. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I hope Miss Tandy's doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Miss Doodle says. Please hit that like button. Absolutely. Let's hope so. Well, I don't know if this is let me go back to the article, because Tom Boyd said Gut says the older sister got them away from the FLDS. We can only hope. And I don't know how many children, because this. Let me go back to the article right quick, because they had the one. Let me find it. Let me get to the right part of the article. No. Now, maybe it just mentioned, so it mentioned that the 18-year-old sister, Elantra, has been missing since January 1st of 2023. But then they said that they believe that other older siblings, so I'm assuming there's a lot, usually in these families, there's lots of children. So I'm assuming it's obviously a different set of older or different older siblings that they believe they left with. Because they did say, let me see who said it. The sheriff's office said, or initially said, that it is believed that they left willingly to return to Trenton, Utah due to religious beliefs. But once again, you've got that, and I'm no psychiatrist, I'm not a professional, but you've got that indoctrinated, ingrained psychological thing going, I'm sure that they've been through. So kind of like a brainwashing type of thing. So yeah, it's just very scary. But yeah, we can only hope that somebody said, hey, I'm going to take the kids and get them to a safe place. Which one are you talking about, Miss Paula? Miss Joanelle? Trying to figure out which case Miss Paula was talking about. Oh, this case? Okay. Yes, Tomboy says extreme Mormonism is what it is. Absolutely. Yep. Okay, so you were talking about Alan and Rochelle. Okay, gotcha. I got you, Miss Paula. Okay, I can't talk. I get, me, I get confused a lot. Hold on, a bunch of comments just popped up. Hold on. Stop me for a minute. Give me a drink. And I've been drinking because I was sweating my you know what off today delivering groceries, but I've been trying to drink water to replenish get hydrated again, but my mouth is still so dry. Yes, Miss Heidi says, seems like the FLDS could hide these kids and the sister, and we would never know. Absolutely. Such a secret group. Yeah, like I said, a lot of people liken them to at least well, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I know the basics, but I don't know, like I said, in other religions, you got what you call the mainstream, and then you do have extremists, and any kind of, most religions, you have your extremist. But yeah, some have likened them to, like a religious cult. And I would agree, just in my opinion, as far as the cult-like behavior, because if you got Warren Jeffs, who was convicted of very, very bad things against children, and then just, yeah, I would agree on that part. Oh, so I didn't know this. So Miss Doodle says, just worrisome that the leader sent out letters saying to return to the flock. So he sent them. So do they have a new leader since Warren Jeffs is in prison, or is he still the leader? I don't know how all that works. Because I think, didn't it say he got life? If he didn't, he should have. I think he's in prison for life for all the bad stuff that he did. So I guess he can, I don't know, unless they got another leader, I guess. I'm assuming he's still the leader, even though he's still in prison. Oh, Tomboy says Tandy is sitting over yonder in the chair. Is she watching wrestling? Is there any wrestling on tonight? I swear there's wrestling on 7 nights a week now. Anyway, we'll tell Miss Tandy we say hi. Yep, I didn't know about the letters either. And I don't think it said in this article. Like I said, I read several different articles when I was researching. I just used this one because I had kind of a brief of all the information that I wanted. But I think the mother and one of the so they took the kids. She initially had custody of the kids, or she did have custody of the kids, but then she was considered, I can't remember what they called it. Basically, somebody, she said she had been, I won't say excommunicated, but that's Catholic. whatever she said, she had been basically, let me find it. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Yeah, so she was awarded full custody in 2021. Her ex-husband has been fighting to get them back, according to the outlet. But I read an article basically said she had been like, what, I can't remember the word they used. Basically, not, I guess kicked. I don't know if it's kicked out or whatever, and that. I wish I'd saved that other article. Anyway, but yeah, and something about the children would never be able to come back to her, or something weird, something bizarre. But yeah. Yes, Chris says there are some people that have broken. There's some people that have broken people away from the FLDS. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Miss Tandy's always welcome. Everybody's welcome. As long as you come in and play, everybody comes in and plays nice, which we usually don't have any trouble around here. Okay, so Doodle says, yes, he sent letters stating they should all return to the flock. Not sure what he meant by flock. Well, I think I know what he means, but it's odd. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what the sheriff had said. Michelle says, I think I read the mom thinks they might have gone willingly. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tomboy says Warren Jeffs has a sickening hold on these people, even from a prison cell. You would be correct. In my opinion, your opinion, whoever's opinion. Absolutely. Yep. I liken it. In my opinion, I would liken it to a cult. Absolutely. Think of, Jim Jones, that whole thing. There's been many, I can't think of any more off the top of my head. There have been many, the Waco, the Branch Davidians, many religious cults. But to me, these cults don't, it's just my opinion. To me, the cult, the religion has nothing to do with the cult, is what I'm trying to say. They just use the religion, unless they just make up their own religion, which I kind of think is what the Branch Davidian, or whoever was David Koresh, was that his name, did with the Branch Davidians. It has nothing. They just use religion as whatever, y'all know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's a very okay, gotcha. Yeah, Alan and Rochelle, suspicious. I would consider it suspicious. Yeah, absolutely. Even though, because like I said, even if they did go willingly, you've got to think, if this, we've been talking about, the cult aspect of it, the brainwashing, most likely, just my opinion. Once again, I'm not a professional. Indoctrination, brainwashing, rules. But they could have gone willingly, but that doesn't mean that they're going to, that's right, is what I'm saying. It's, still not right. Yeah, Tomboy said none of the Jeffs are good people. Yep. Oh goodness. Chris says Warren Jeff's brother has been involved with food stamp fraud and wire fraud. Mustang says, I think I think he got life. Okay, Tomboy says that Warren Jeffs is still the leader, even from the cell. Oh, Doodle says she went down the rabbit hole on this one. Yep. Yeah, Miss Heidi says, I heard he was still the leader, though in prison. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you've got back, well, I say not so much these days, but like, because I've always been interested in the American mafia, like from back in the day, since Capone back then, and then up to the American mafia was still pretty big in the 80s. I remember that, after what's his face? Gotti went to prison, and a bunch of others went to prison. It's still there. It's still there. But I forgot. I totally forgot where I was going with this train of thought. But yeah, no, I was going to say, mafia leaders could still ruled, or ruled through jail when they were in prison. So I don't see why it's not possible that he couldn't be, that Jeff's couldn't be doing it. Oh, Tomboy says wrestling just got over with. Miss Paula's watching Murder, She Wrote. Oh, I used to love Murder, She Wrote. I love that. And Matlock. I used to watch Matlock back in the day. Shunned. Maybe that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Yeah, but that other article, she had a name for it. It wasn't like excommunicated, because I think that's a Catholic thing, right? So that basically she's called an it started with an AB. Aberrant. She was aberrant or something, meaning she, I guess, wasn't following the rules. So I don't know. And she got kicked out or whatever. I'm assuming that that's what it meant. I don't know. Absolutely, yes. Without, like Doodle says, this stuff is scary enough without involving children. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there was a show on, which it wasn't this extreme like this, but back in the what was it, the trying to come off for a minute, maybe 90s, maybe into the early 2000s, called Big Love. There's a bunch of good actors in it, but Bill Paxton was in it. That's the reason I watched it sometimes. But it was more focused on the polygamy part, which is, in my opinion, that's well, we don't talk religion on here, but anyway, but yeah, that I think it was called Big Love. It was on back in maybe the 90s, maybe early 2000s. Miss Tomboy says, my girls went to school with a lot of the girls who were sent down here to Texas and into foster care. Oh, from the church, from the FLDS. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it's called. Mustang says, I used to watch a TV series where kids wanted to leave the LDS would be helped to escape. I think I've watched, was it kind of like a reality show, documentary type show? I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it. God, my fingers are getting sweaty. I can't get my touchpad to move here. Apostate. Thank you, Michelle. That's the word. Mom was considered an apostate. So whatever that means, so it's not good, I'm assuming, or other, basically she wouldn't follow in the rules or whatever, or yes, apostate. That's the word I was trying to think of. Okay, so it's called or Escaping Polygamy. Y'all got to watch that show. I think I've maybe watched a couple episodes, but I will definitely look at it. Yeah, Tomboy or a Mustang says, I agree, it's a cult. Yeah, in my opinion. Yeah, Manson family, absolutely. Okay, Michelle says, according to many articles, it's considered a sect. Yes, they mentioned that. Yeah. Yeah, Miss Heidi says, I agree, it's a cult too, and they want the kids back to keep growing the flock. Absolutely. There's Miranda Lee. Hey, Miss Miranda, good to see you. She says, sorry I'm late. You're fine. Had company over. Hope everyone is doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Miss Miranda. Good to have you here, ma'am. Always good to have our peeps here. Yep. Tomboy says a fundamentalist branch of the Latter-day Saints. Extreme. Yeah, so I'm talking about extreme fundamentalist. Yeah. Chris says Escaping Polygamy is a great show. Yes, Michelle says they use coercive control. Absolutely. Yep. Miss Heidi says yes, and coercive control over such young minds. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I call brainwashing, basically. Brainwashing, indoctrination. I'm having trouble with my big words tonight. Indoctrination. Let's get caught up. So I'm assuming you're talking about Warren Jeffs. Tomboy said he is in protected custody at the Powledge unit of the TDC, Texas. I'm assuming Texas Department of Correction. Yeah, you remember that one? Yeah, Big Love. Yeah. Oh, dandy. Talking about a rooster. Okay, so it's a reality show. Okay. All right. Thank you, Michelle. Always with the good information. It says an apostate is someone who abandons or renounces a religious or political belief or principle, often after initially professing it. Thank you. Yes. That's basically what I was trying to say, but I wasn't smart enough to get all the words together. Oops. Yes. Yeah, that's what it was, an apostate. Thank you, Miss Michelle. According to Google AI. Hey, that's now that you said that it was coming back to me. That's basically what they said in that article that I was reading. The other one that I didn't use tonight. Yes, a sect usually means a cult or equals a cult. In my opinion, I agree with you. Just getting caught up, and then we will move on. Michelle says, I think the difference between the two, a sect and a cult, is that the sect develops out of an already established religion. Sounds fair to me. Yeah. Oh, I love to watch Destination. Miss Paula's talking about some TV shows she watches. I love Destination X. Yep. Let's see. Just getting caught up. Yes, absolutely. I'm not going to read that out loud, but y'all can read that. Yeah. Yes, the essay of girls and women. Absolutely. Yeah, Miss Heidi says the mom was so brave to wake up and leave and start over. Absolutely. Yep, and she was awarded custody of the kid. So the courts agreed with her, apparently, which is a good thing, in my opinion. Dandy says, our small town in Colorado just built a Mormon temple. I've never seen so many cameras, like surveillance or like they're going to film something. Either way, scary. All right. And I don't think I will post that Amber Alert post or the Enigmatic poster on my community tab. Destination X is, if it's the one I'm thinking about, hold on, I'm gonna have to look it up to make sure. Let me look it up to make sure it is the one I'm thinking about. TV show. Oh, maybe I haven't seen it. No, it's not the one I'm thinking about. If it has Jeffrey Dean Morgan, because I would definitely be watching it if Jeffrey Dean Morgan is on it. It's hosted. So it started on May 27th, 2025, hosted by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Ooh, no, that's not the one. I was thinking of Destination Unknown, the one with Josh Gates does on was it I think it's or not ID channel, Discovery. But no, I'm gonna have to. Thank you, Miss Paula. I'm gonna have to look at this Destination X. It's on NBC. Hold on. Sorry, we got sidetracked. Oh, so it's okay. So it says that's the perennial puzzle Destination X contestants must solve as they journey blindly across Europe on a blacked out bus. Along the way, players navigate physical and mental challenges and each other in the captivating reality competition series that gives fresh meaning to location, location, location. So yeah, so that was completely different when I'm gonna have to check that out. I said I would sit and watch Jeffrey Dean Morgan read the phone book, honestly. Anyway, back to business. Let me get caught up again. So Dandy says there's probably 60 cameras on the outside. I'm not even joking. So like, I call them surveillance cameras, like CC or security cameras. That's what I'm trying to say. Like security cameras. Crazy. All right, Miss Heidi. Thank you for being here. She says she has to sign off. Good night and thanks for having me. Absolutely, Miss Heidi. You are welcome here anytime, ma'am. And thank you so much for all the comment, the sweet comments that you leave on the videos. Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am. Good to have you here. Absolutely. See, that's the way I'm getting. Arctic says I always am watching YouTube. I never watch regular TV. I know, and I have what do I have? Dish, and so we have the DVR, and I right now the DVR is always like 99 to 100% full of stuff that I record on TV. But I've never. I get on YouTube and start watching stuff, and because honestly, in my opinion, most of the stuff on TV these days is crap. I mean, there's very few shows and things that I watch on TV. I mean, me and my mom have our regular scripted TV shows that we've been watching forever and ever and ever, like the Law and Orders, Blue Bloods. Although I think that one's ended, but we're like 2 seasons behind on it. We watch The Rookie, things of that nature. The NCISs that we've been watching forever and ever and ever. We watch very few news shows. We watched The Good Doctor when it was on, but they took it, had the last season last year, whenever. But yeah, few and far between anymore, in my opinion, are the good scripted TV. And I don't watch a whole lot of reality. I don't like watching reality TV. And we will watch American Idol some. We watched most of it, or I watched most of it this season. And then we've been watching, I guess you could call it Deadliest Catch. I guess it's a reality. We've watched it forever and ever and ever, but it's about all the reality TV that I can handle. But anyway, Paula says she loves Dancing with the Stars. I've watched Dancing with the Stars off and on. If I'm flipping through TV channels, I might stop it, if it's on. Let's see. Get caught up, and then we will go to whatever is next on my slideshow. The temple, what did I miss? The temple, Dandy says the temple is, oh, okay, I got you. Is seriously watched. Oh, yeah, I got you. Sorry, things keep jumping on me here. Yes, I did know that. Mariska Hargitay, yep, she is Jane Mansfield's daughter. Yep. Yes, I want to watch the new, Blue Bloods. I think had their final, whatever the last season they had, which I said we're like 2 seasons behind on Blue Bloods. But yeah, the one that played, can't think of his name, is going to be doing Boston Blue. Donnie Wahlberg. Thank you. Yep, Donnie Wahlberg's new show. Yep, we're definitely going to watch that one. Yep. And for anybody, we loved NCIS too, so we've been recording the NCIS Origins, and then I think I don't know what streaming service it's going to be on, but they're going to have a Tony and Ziva spinoff from NCIS, so we're going to be watching that one too. Miranda said her mom loves Blue Bloods. Oh, yeah, we love Blue Bloods. I love that one. Arctic says Blue Bloods was his dad's favorite. Yep. All right. Let me mark there, and we will see what we have next. Okay, let me get prepared for this one, which is not earth-shattering news, but apparently they are finally going to test the DNA. Dandy says we're speaking Russian right now. Yeah. Dandy doesn't watch a lot of TV, which is fine. Like I said, in my opinion, right now, or not even just from right now, from the last few years, television shows have gone to crap. Movies have gone to crap. I don't know the last newer movie that I've watched because there's just nothing good coming out worth watching. Definitely not worth paying all the money to go to a movie theater to see. And then if it comes on a streaming service, maybe if it's on one that I have. But no, most of it is just literal crap these days. It's just the mindless brain rot. Isn't that the new catchphrase? Brain rot? It's all brain rot now. It's just like nothing good. It's nothing good anymore. It's just my opinion, once again. Now, there are the little gems that you can find that you have to look hard for them, though. Chris says he buys YouTube videos and movies from YouTube. Yep. All right. Arctic says he's going to be watching from the bushes on the TV. All right, sir. Okay, so they are finally, unless something happens, but I think both sides have finally agreed, or of course, Damien Eccles has and his team has been pushing for it for years and years and years to get this DNA tested that they thought had been destroyed. Turns out it wasn't destroyed. They found it in some, I don't know, garage somewhere, wherever they found it at, some building. It's basically the trigger warning, for anyone. I do have the banner up there, but I'm sure most of you know the details of this case. But in this evidence that they found here a while back, or maybe last year they found it. I've got an article I'm going to read. In this evidence that they found that they thought had been destroyed were at least one shoelace, maybe more, at least one shoelace, because the boys were tied up with their own shoelaces. Christopher, Michael, and Stevie. So they're going to do some advanced DNA testing on it to see, something may come of it, nothing may come of it. But I've always said, regardless if it proves anything or doesn't prove anything, why, just test it. But the courts here in Arkansas have been fighting. I mean, went up to the Arkansas Supreme Court. They said, yes, it can be tested. But then the lower courts were, trying to, no, we're not going to test it. We're fighting it, basically. But apparently now they have come to an agreement that it's going to be tested. So let me find the article. There it is. Okay. So this is from NEA NortheastArkansasReport.com. And this came out or was posted yesterday, June 26th. Oh, nope, I don't want to close it out. The state finally will agree to test hair. So there's some hairs too. Yeah, because I believe there are some hairs in the ligatures in the shoelaces. The state will agree to test hair and ligatures in West Memphis 3 case, hearing set for late July. And it says the fight to retest. So back in the day when they first had it, they did do testing on it, but this was back in the 90s. So obviously DNA testing has come a long, long way since back in the 90s. But from what they did back in the 90s, they couldn't, find anything, didn't get anything off of it useful. So the fight to retest DNA evidence in the West Memphis 3 case may finally be concluded with a newly scheduled hearing focused on the subject. The next hearing in the ongoing saga is scheduled for 11 a.m. on July 23rd in Marion, Arkansas, which is up north in Crittenden County, I believe. Is it Crittenden County? Maybe a different county. I think it's Crittenden County. Prosecutor Sonia F. Haygood noted this date is likely to be moved to the last week of July due to scheduling conflicts. So following an April 2024 Arkansas Supreme Court ruling affirming jurisdiction over Damian Eccles' petition for new DNA testing, the parties involved, including Eccles, Jason Baldwin, Jesse Miss Kelly Jr., the state, and of course the Innocence Project, reached a joint agreement to proceed with further forensic testing. So the Northeast NEA report discussed the agreed upon order with the prosecutor before it was submitted to the court. So Prosecutor Haygood, was she a prosecutor? What was she? The Haygood woman. Yes, Prosecutor Haygood says the Supreme Court did not specifically order the testing. However, it was obvious to me that the Supreme Court wants something tested. What's the point in having all this litigation if we're going to end up in the same spot anyway? Finally, I've been saying this all along. Just test it. Why not? So they started negotiating. Haygood said the three defendants have been talking with her office for about a year. She said she wants the public to know that it seems simple, but it is not. It's not just black and white. She was close to the same age as the victims in the case, and she remembers watching the news about the homicides as a child. She said, like many, she wanted to see the evidence tested. In her role as prosecutor, she contended that she must consider factors such as the families of the victims, absolutely, or what could yield results versus what may be a waste of time to test. The prosecutor said part of the statute says that the state must certify. See, this is where I think is the problem. Even if they do find something, you're not going to be able to do anything with it except for just say, hey, maybe we should look at this person or that person, or maybe we had the right people to begin with, whatever the case may be. So the prosecutor Haygood said part of the statute says that the state must certify that there is no contamination or tampering with the evidence. So that's going to be in my opinion, and I'm no expert on this, that's going to be a problem, because if it's been sitting in this warehouse or this office or wherever it was for all these years, back since the 90s, there's going to be no chain of command. There's going to be degradation. There's going to be somebody could have tampered with it. All that can be brought into question if anything were to go to court, at least the way I understand it. So that's going to be the problem. So Prosecutor Haygood says she can't say that with certainty, obviously, because we don't know, because they just found it in April or last year. Who's to say somebody? I mean, it's been sitting there. You're going to have, like I said, you're going to have degradation of the DNA itself. You're going to have people. It's been handled multiple times. So yeah, that's going to be the problem. But anyway. The prosecutor said part of the statute. Okay, I read that part. So Haygood noted DNA testing was in its infancy in 1993. There is footage of lawyers and others handling the evidence without gloves back then. So there's another problem on top of that. Haygood said that it isn't a disparagement of the lawyers or law enforcement. Today, we might think that this is obvious, that you don't handle, wear gloves and do it the proper way. But Haygood said in 1993, nobody knew what touch DNA was or how it could affect the possible outcomes of that testing, which is true. And once again, with this touch DNA, it's an advancement, but it's, as far as I've read and understand, now this is just my understanding in my little pea brain, touch DNA is not as reliable as like hair, blood, bodily fluids. As far as I understand, the touch DNA is not as reliable or as conclusive, I guess I should say, as conclusive as other, like the hair fibers, or hair, saliva, bodily fluids, blood, things of that nature. Please, in the chat, let me know if I'm wrong. So I lost my place again. So the agreed order. Under the order, key evidence from the West Memphis 3 case, which is the ligatures and the hair samples, will be sent to, I don't know if it's BODE or BODE, BODE, laboratories for advanced DNA analysis. The testing will be paid for by the petitioning parties, which is Eccles. Now, I don't know how much, if any, Miss Kelly and Baldwin are going to pay for. I'm assuming Eccles is probably going to pay for most of it. And all sides will have access to the lab, testing procedures, and the results. The order will acknowledge that the biological matter could produce new potentially relevant evidence. Could. Once again, then we'll go back to that problem of, it's been handled, no chain of command, contamination is probably the biggest thing. So all 3 men, Eccles, Baldwin, and Miss Kelly, have waived their rights to object to destructive testing under the state law. The state, while consenting to the testing, noted possible issues with contamination or tampering due to the age and past handling of the evidence. A total of 15 categories of evidence will undergo testing. Once complete, results will be provided to all parties, and it will be filed with the court. Both sides reserve the right to challenge the significance or admissibility of the results, and that's where the problem is going to come in, like I've been saying. So if something does come of it, if they find unknown DNA or somebody else's DNA, or they're not going to, that would be, like she said, or that they said, both sides can challenge to have it admitted. So anyway, so Prosecutor Haygood goes on to say, I still think we may test it and find that it has been extremely contaminated, and we can't make heads or tails of what the DNA evidence says. But in my mind, it's worth it. Let's just try it. I agree. Why not? It may be nothing that comes out of it, or we may get a silver bullet that explains the entire case. I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but, stranger things have happened. She also noted the order is not final. It must be approved by the judge. However, she is hopeful that this will bring peace and answers. So that's what this hearing is about at the end of July, is I guess the judge has to finalize it, approve it, and say, yeah, go ahead with it. Keep losing my place. Turn my camera off for a minute while I'm reading. Let me get a drink. So once again, I think everybody knows pretty much about this case. In 1993, 8-year-old boys Stevie Branch, Michael Moore, Christopher Byers were found victims of a homicides in a wooded area of West Memphis. 3 teenagers, Damian Eccles, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miscellany Jr. were later arrested and convicted in connection with the homicides. Prosecutors alleged that the homicides were part of the satanic ritual, which I've never believed that, in my opinion. With the case largely built on Jesse Miscellany's confession, which it was built on his confession and circumstantial evidence, which, cases have been won on confessions and circumstantial evidence. And Miss Kelly, Jesse did confess more than one time on his own. Now, I'm not saying that that first confession with the one that's on record, I'm not saying, I do have questions about it of maybe kind of being leading, but that's neither here nor there. Sorry, I keep losing my place. Over the years, questions about the investigation and lack of physical evidence led to widespread public scrutiny and support for the defendants. DNA testing failed to link the men to the crime scene, which is true. So in 2011, they were released from prison after ending Alford pleas, which allowed them to maintain their innocence while pleading guilty to lesser charges. They had each served more than 18 years. Then, so the evidence was found in 2021. So then in 2021, an evidence box that attorneys were told had been destroyed in a fire was found to be intact. And this is the box that contains shoelaces used to tie the victims. Damien Eccles said in a statement to THV 11, which is one of our local news outlets, he says, quote, "It's been 32 years since Christopher Byers, Stevie Branch, and Michael Moore were senselessly victims of a homicide. In 2020, then prosecutor Scott Ellington agreed to test the evidence. It didn't happen. Last year, the Arkansas Supreme Court ordered the testing. It hasn't happened. We just want justice and answers for everyone involved." End quote. So that is the latest. To me, I just, like I said, if something comes of it, great. If nothing comes of it, great. Just, I don't see what the holdup for all the testing, why the lower courts and people involved in the case in the investigation didn't want it tested. But at any rate, if the judge agrees, which hopefully he or she will, it will be tested. So let me see what you guys have got to say. I'm sure y'all got a lot to say. Oh, keep my cam off for a minute. Get back down to, okay, there we go. Really? So Miranda says, my cousin Caleb Foote is an actor on NCIS Origins. He plays Bernard Randy Randolph. Oh my goodness. Well, when I start watching it, I'm going to have to. So he plays Bernard Randy Randolph. That is so awesome. We have got famous people adjacent. Miranda is famous people adjacent. Yeah, Michelle says the early 2000s had so many good movies. It was hard to pick one when going to theaters. Yeah, I remember the good old days of, yeah, probably the early 2000s, maybe middle 2000s is the last time that we would go to a movie theater on a semi-regular basis. Yes, the one that Christopher Maloney. I think, is it still going on? The one that Elliot Stabler was the character that was on the Law and Order, the original, or no, SVU. That was on SVU with Mariska Hargitay. Yeah, he did SVU Organized Crime, or Law and Order Organized Crime. I think it's still on. I'm not sure. But I've watched, I think, the whole first season of Organized Crime, maybe part of the second season. And I'm way, way, way behind on the original SVU. But yes, Christopher Maloney, yeah, the actor, has a step back into his role as Elliot Stabler for that. Yes, I have watched. Miranda says, if you want to watch some in-depth coverage of West Memphis 3, check out the channel Burn After Reading. Yes, I have watched, I think, everything that he's done on West Memphis 3. So yes, I highly encourage you, if you want to look at, if you're not set in your ways, which if you are, that's fine. Whatever side of the fence you come down on, that's your right. That's your privilege. To me, I'm still straddling the fence because obviously none of us know either way if Eccles, Miss Kelly, Baldwin did it or not, or if it was somebody else, whether it be members of the community or the boys' families or just some complete stranger. I look at every possibility. But yes, I've watched. You can learn a lot from that. And I think there was somebody else. I can't remember what the channel is. But yes, I watched just about everything that he's done on that, because he hasn't done anything in a long while. Then I think he did the West Memphis 3 for Dummies. He did a series, and then he was talking about, he did one. Last one I watched that he did was the one about Domini, Damien Eccles' girlfriend, the mother of his child back then, whether or not she lied for him and things of that nature. Yes, absolutely. Once again, please hit the like button. No, Paula says, thanks, Miranda. He actually helped me. I thought the victims were tied to the bottom of the creek. No, now the clothing, some of the clothing was wrapped around sticks and attached to the bottom of the creek. Absolutely. But no, the boys they were just tied up and put in the creek. But yeah, he did, or whoever did it, whoever the offender or offenders are, they took some of the clothing and put it down, attached it to the bottom of the creek, some of the clothing. Yes, I love Christopher. Chris says Christopher Maloney is his favorite Law and Order actor. Yep. I like Christopher Maloney. Was he in the movie? What was that movie? Because I always get him. It was either him or that actor. I get the movie about the angels. I can't think of the name of it now. It came out, I think, in the 90s. It might have been another actor. Hold on. All right. I'll go back to it if I don't forget. Remind me, because I love that movie. Yeah. Miss Paula says, thanks for the info. Absolutely. And all these articles and everything I'm reading from tonight, they are linked in the description box below or wherever it may be. So you can go back and read them for yourselves. And feel free to, yes, on this case or in any case, please don't just read, because we all know, all of us who have been reading and watching and true crime stuff, that people definitely have their own opinions and they're on one side of the fence on the other in whatever case or whatever, and that's fine. That's but please, before you make any kind of solid decision, just try to look at it from all sides, and then form your own. Don't take any one or two or three person's word. This is what happened, and this is just my opinion. Absolutely, everybody has the right to do whatever they want to do, but look at it, listen to different sides, that's what I do. People who are on this side of the fence about it, I listen to what they have to say. People are on this side of the fence, I listen to what they have to say. People who are on the other side of the pasture, I listen to what, and I form your own opinions and conclusions. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, a doodle. Echoes has made an entrance. Echoes is in the building. Hey, Bubba, how's it going? I'm behind. Let's see, how far am I behind? I'm just about 10 minutes behind in comments. Sorry. Got to what? I'm sweating. Okay. He says, bruh. Okay. Yes, but you got to consider where it was at. Yeah, he said Eddie Vedder got booed, and Eddie Vedder has always been a big supporter of West Memphis 3. Got booed at a Pearl Jam concert in Little Rock when he brought up the free West Memphis 3 sign. Yeah. Yep. Hola, back to you two. I thought y'all were going on vacation. Is it next weekend? When are y'all going? Or are you on vacation and just happen to tune in? Yes, Doodle. Yeah, Chris said, Doodle, your friend is here. And yes, you have a friend. Oh, hello. Fritzl Garage is watching from Poland. Good to have you here. And if Fritzl doesn't always catch the live streams, but they always watch the replays for the most part, and watch the videos and leave comments, wonderful comments. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. Yep, from Poland. Yeah, and I'm telling you, Fritzl has been here watching my crappy videos from, yeah, and you guys are still there. I haven't deleted any of them. Scroll down to go to like the video playlist, scroll down to the bottom and watch all my really crappy, and I'm not saying I'm good now, really, really crappy stuff from when I first started making just videos, even before I started doing live streams. But Fritzl has always, even on those earliest videos, commented, thank you for bringing my awareness to this, watching from Poland. So Fritzl Garage, which is what the MB, whatever it is, MB T, they've been here from the beginning. So I appreciate them very, very, very much. I appreciate everybody so very, very much. My members, my subscribers, everybody, anybody who just happens to drop in and find us. So if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I forgot to welcome any new people. Was he in that? Echo says, anyone remember Maloney and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? I've watched that, obviously, but I can't. I'm trying to still think of the movie. What is the movie about the angels? My redheaded guy was in it. Shoot. I was thinking Christopher Maloney was in that. Hold on. Since you brought it up again, then I promise we'll get back to business. Christopher Walken was in it. Eric Stoltz, he played an angel. Oh, God. You guys know it will drive me crazy until I find it. Maybe I should have went to IMDb. No, Wikipedia should give me a list of his movies. Or he might be, sometimes I get him confused with another actor that looks, so he's been in 12 Monkeys, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Runaway Bride, Wet Hot American Summer, Harold and Kumar, Green Lantern. No, this movie was back in maybe it was another actor. I can't even think of the name of the freaking movie right now. Anyway. Anyway, I'm rambling. No, the movie was about like actual angels. So either Christopher Maloney or the actor that I get him confused with was in it. He played a detective. Christopher Walken was in it. I think he was an angel. Eric Stoltz was in it. He was definitely an angel in it. Oh geez, I'll find it. I'll think of it. Okay, so y'all leave next weekend for your cool. Oh, Echoes is at work. Says ATL Atlanta had a hailstorm at the airport and a bunch of our planes are out of service. I'm still at work. It's a mess. Ugh. Bless your heart. Oh, Mustang's got to turn my camera. I always like to greet and Mustang says, thanks, Southern Gala Mods. Good night, all. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Always good to have Mustang here. Thank you for being here. All right, so anybody got anything else about you want to input for the West Memphis story? Because I don't know what we have next. Okay, this one. Let me get the article going. So this is a very interesting, this is one of our missing cold cases. Oh, go away. All right, let me get another drink before I start reading again. So this is regarding Kevin Verville Jr. He was a baby. He was kidnapped 45 years ago, and this article came out June 15th of this year. And this is a case that baby Kevin, as he was called when he was abducted, and this was an abduction, could still be alive out there and just doesn't know who he is. So I'll read you this article. Is from foxla.com. So this is a California case. And you can read the bullet points there on the screen or on the slide. Get down to the actual article. So it says a baby kidnapped 45 years ago near San Diego is believed to be alive. What we know, in a press conference, officials believe that Kevin Verville Jr., who will be 45 in 2025, might be out and about, not having any idea that he's been away from his birth family his entire life. Baby Kevin, as he was called, was 17 days old. 17 days old. In 1980, when a woman came into his birth family's home, which was in an off-base housing near Camp Pendleton, and he took off with him. So officials say the alleged kidnapper had a tattoo on her left hand between her index finger and thumb. And I don't know if it says on the slide, but the one on the right is an age progressed to what they think he could possibly look like at 45, which is what he would be today, or as of 2025. So a $10,000 reward has been offered by the FBI for any tip that leads to the arrest of the kidnapper. But I'm sure, any information would be helpful. So if you do have information, you're asked to call NCMEC at 1-800-THE-LOST or the FBI at 1-800-225-5324 or visit tips.fbi.gov. So this is one where baby Kevin, as he was called when he was kidnapped, could still be out there. And just, I posted, it's been probably a few months ago, a story that I came across, article that I came across, and I think I did a video on it. It's probably under the, I don't know what playlist I put it under. But a man who he had been abducted as a boy from somewhere in California when he was maybe, I'm trying to think how, maybe 4, 5, 6 years old. Just like last year, within the last couple of years, was found over on the East Coast. Had no idea who he was. Another one of his family members had submitted DNA to like the public DNA databases and matched it somehow and found him. And he was reunited. He had a brother, because him and his brother, I think, were out at the beach or somewhere playing or doing something. And his brother was older, and he was snatched, and he was found on the East Coast. And I think this was like 50 years later, 55 years later. So it's possible. Anything can happen. Absolutely. We like stories like that. Yes, thank you. The prophecy. That is it, Michelle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, The Prophecy. Yes, I love that movie. That is it, Michelle. Thank you. Oh, I missed Miss Paula says I posted a comment on, let me go back and I must have missed it. Yes, Miss Paula says she goes to a lot of different sources on here for coverage. Absolutely. Yeah. Just look at it. Look at both sides, or how many sides. Usually in cases, high profile cases, there's, you got this side and you got this side, and we can name cases that are like that, and West Memphis 3 is one of them. But yeah, look at all opinions, all theories, all, and form your own opinion. If you can find a place, a lot of channels that I go to have, back their what they're saying up with official court documents, official documents. So that's always, you can, for the most part, trust official, court documents. Is that the comment you were talking about, Miss Paula, or did you have another one? Oh, I see it. Okay, this must be it. Okay. Miss Paula says, I doubt highly these three would know how to tie a knot and in the manner in which the victims died. It would have to take an expert diver to get them down that deep. That's what I told Bern after reading. I'm trying to remember. So the creek wasn't that deep. You could wade in it. I mean, it's probably, depending on how big you are, because I've seen they've released like the crime scene photos, which don't search for them. I think hopefully they scrubbed most of the ones that show the actual boys, Christopher, Stevie, and Michael. But you could, it shows where they were found, and it showed adults in there, and they were probably knee deep. So it's not that deep, but now different parts of it where it empties out into the flow through, whatever they call it, could be deeper. But I think where they were actually found, it's, it wasn't that deep. But that's a fair point. That's a good point. Absolutely. We caught up. Okay. But yes, once again, thank you, Michelle. The prophecy. Yes, that is the movie I was trying to think of. All right, so that is baby Kevin. Did I finish reading the article? Hold on. Oh yeah, I gave the numbers to call. Nick Meck at 1-800 the Lost, or the FBI at 1-800-225-5324. All right, so I just thought that was interesting. All right. So next we have a basically solved cold case. Although, I'll read the article. I have an article, but anybody that could be prosecuted, or the one that did it is no longer on this earth. We'll put it that way. But let me find the article. 1 minute. Okay. All right, so this is the case of Diane Petersen, and this is from, where's this from? California. Once again, another California case. And this article is from ABC News. It's from June 3rd of 2025. So as you can see there, teen identified as offender in decades-old homicide of teacher. So just trigger warning on this one. It's not graphic, the details, but just trigger warning. Just the nature of it. So the brutal homicide of a school teacher stabbed in the chest at a California high school in 1978 has finally been solved, according to authorities. With the district attorney's office now revealing the then 16-year-old offender confessed to a family member minutes after the homicide. So on the slide on the left hand is Diane Petersen. On the right hand is the presumed, alleged, pretty much they know that he's the one that did it. Excuse me. So Diane Petersen was found stabbed at Branham High School in San Jose one day after school ended for the summer. And though they had suspects over the years, her homicide had never been solved. One of those suspects, Harry Nicky Nickerson, who is on the right-hand side of the slide, has now been confirmed as the offender, according to the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office. So he was 16 years old when this happened. Earlier this year, investigators learned that Nickerson had confessed to a family member that he committed the homicide. Investigators met with the family member, who admitted to police. Now, this is from what I'm gathering just recently. This family member admitted to police that Nickerson came to their home minutes after the homicide and confessed to stabbing Petersen, solving the decades-old homicide, according to the district attorney's office. So the district attorney's office will not be filing charges against the family member who revealed that Nickerson admitted to the homicide. This is according to the DA's office. They said, the office said in a statement, quote, the relative did not participate in the homicide and did not provide protection or assistance. They were just a witness after the fact. The relative was emotional and appeared relieved after having kept a secret for almost 50 years. They went on to say the relative did not expressly say why they did not come forward, but saying it is, quote, reasonable to surmise that it was out of fear of retaliation, which is understandable. So in the years after the homicide, Nickerson here, Harry, was arrested and convicted of armed robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, and kidnapping, according to the DA's office. He was shot and critically injured in 1984 while attempting a drug robbery. No charges were filed. I don't understand this, but they say no charges were filed against him, quote, given the circumstances. I don't know what circumstances they're talking to, but to me, armed robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, kidnapping, some pretty serious stuff. But so Nickerson here, Harry, he passed away by self-harm in 1993, once again, according to the district attorney's office. Santa Clara County District Attorney Jeff Rosen said in a statement, quote, this marks the end of a terrible and tragic mystery. Miss Petersen would have been a senior citizen today if she had not crossed paths with this violent teenager. I wish she was still here. I am pleased that we have solved this case, even though the offender is not alive to face justice. I wish he was, end quote. So there is, I thought this was everywhere, but it says there is no statute. I think it's this way, probably most everywhere. No statute of limitations on homicide in California. San Jose Police Chief Paul Joseph said in a statement, quote, let this serve as a solemn reminder, no matter how much time passes, we will continue to seek the truth because every victim matters and every life deserves justice, end quote. So just some background on the actual homicide. A student found Miss Petersen stabbed to death in the high school hallway in 1978. This according to the district attorney's office. She suffered a single stab wound to her chest. The homicide occurred one day after school had ended for the summer while teachers were cleaning their classrooms. A witness had previously told police that Nickerson confessed to the crime and that he had seen Nickerson, quote, carrying a knife that had written on it, teacher dear. Once again, according to the DA's office. Police were not able to corroborate that claim, according to the DA's office. Nickerson had long been a suspect in the homicide, according to the DA's office. Nickerson allegedly had a strong similarity to a composite sketch. And if you want to read this article, they do have a picture of the composite sketch along with the picture of the actual person. Similar, but we know how sketches go. So Nickerson allegedly had a strong similarity to a composite sketch based on eyewitness accounts of the attack. The family of a student told police in 1983 that their son had claimed to have seen the killing and that he identified Nickerson as the offender. The student later denied this, so once again, he could have just been scared. In 1984, a witness told police that Nickerson implicated himself in the homicide, claiming that he took the life of Miss Petersen after he was discovered making a illegal substance deal, according to the DA's office. Extensive DNA work on the case in 2023 and 2024 was unable to identify the offender. A family member of the victim who asked not to be identified by police thanked investigators for not giving up for 47 years. The relative said Diane was a beautiful and wonderful person who is missed dearly. So that was some good. I'm sure over the years they had many people working on the case. 47 years. But I just thought that was interesting too. I always like to bring some some cases that have some closure instead of these, all the time with the ones that have not been solved, which are absolutely important. Let's see what you guys have to say. Paula said that's interesting. Absolutely. All right. I think, let's see. So yeah, just what do you guys think about that? I mean, like I said, I just love, especially, me in cold cases. Cold cases are my jam. Oh, sorry. But yeah, I like finding when these pop up in my Google suggestions. Yeah, Miss Paula says, happy he confessed, but it's a little odd. Yeah. Yeah, to me, I mean, he may have had other things going on, but I mean, I don't know, because he took his own life, self-harm. So I don't know if that had anything to do with any kind of guilt he might have had for what he did, or it could have had something to do with something completely different. I said, evidently, if he's willing to take somebody else's life, he's got some kind of issues going on. But yeah, I find that very interesting. All right, I think the last one we have for the night is the Jodi. I have trouble with her name, Jodi Huisentruit. And I got a couple of articles that I found. So I said yesterday, the 26th, it's 30 years since she's been missing. She went missing on around June. Last time she was seen was June 26th of 1995. So 2025 is 30 years. That was yesterday. I believe yesterday was the 26th. Yep. So I just thought it's been a while, and I have done some videos. I don't know if I did a video, but we've talked about this case. This is a case that I've been interested in for a long time, even before I started doing this on YouTube. And Dave, Alan LaProud, Dave has done a lot. He's very interested in this case too. So go check out Dave. He's done many live streams and such on this case also. All right, so let me find the first article. Okay, so the first article is basically just kind of a timeline of what happened, and then I have an article, I believe, about the when they unsealed the document, the records. Okay, so this is from News Nation, and this article is from the 25th of this year. Let me find the top of it. So you can see the bullet points up there. So Jodi just never showed. She was sorry, got my earbud stuck. She was a news anchor in I don't think it was it in Minnesota or no? It'll tell in the article. Midwest. It might have been in Minnesota. Anyway, she was a news anchor. She never showed up for her shift on the morning, I believe, of the 26th. They did find signs of a struggle in the parking. She lived in an apartment complex. They found signs of a struggle. I think they found her car keys. They had been bent in the door of her car. They found a shoe. I believe they found like a curling iron, things of that nature that were left in the parking lot by the car. And then we have this investigator believes he's narrowed it down supposedly to 4 suspects. I think his name is what did I say? Ridge is his last name. So news anchor Jodi Huisentruit disappeared 30 years ago, and her case remains unsolved despite recent developments. So here's what is known about the disappearance of the morning news anchor. So on June 26th of 1995, Jodi's last known movements came the day before she disappeared. In the morning, she worked on the morning and noon shows. So it's was from Iowa. She worked on the morning and noon shows at KIMT TV in Mason City, Iowa. Now, there's something about Minnesota. Maybe Minnesota is where they went to, because they did also, and I forgot to bring up the article. I can probably find it. They did do a search. I think it was somewhere in Minnesota from, I don't know if it was a tip they got, but they did do some kind of digging around, searching. I think that was somewhere in Minnesota. Okay. So later in the day of the 26th, she attended a golf tournament fundraiser, joining her team at a country club for dinner. Two of her golf partners said that she told them that she had been getting annoying phone calls and she was going to change her phone number. In the evening, she called a friend and spoke to the friend's husband, who said that she sounded cheerful. She didn't seem worried about anything, stressed out about anything. During the investigation, John Van Cease saw in that picture, that very little, the smallest picture on that collage is Van Cease, who was a much older friend of Jodi's, told police that she stopped by his house to get a videotape that night. So this is why they were most interested in him, is because he is the last, or is assumed maybe to be the last person to have seen her alive. So on June 27th of 1995 at 4 a.m., when Jodi did not show up at work at her usual 3 a.m. starting time, producer Amy Coombs called and woke her up. She said Huisentruit sounded okay on the phone. Excuse me. 5 a.m., Jodi still had not arrived for work, so Coombs tried to reach her again and failed. 7 a.m., after Jodi was still not at work, a coworker called the police to check on her. And at 7:16 a.m., Mason City police officers showed up to Jodi's apartment and found signs indicating a crime had occurred in the parking lot. So I said that's where they found, if I remember correctly, they found her keys. I think were in, like she was put the keys in to unlock the door, but the key was bent. Like she had, like something, they think maybe somebody came up behind her and pushed her, grabbed her, and that's what maybe bent the key. And like I said, they found at least one shoe. I think that's on the slide there on the bottom right. They found a shoe, maybe a curling iron or hair dryer or something. They found several different things in the parking lot. So Jodi's car was still in the lot. There were signs of a struggle, including drag marks on the pavement and a bent car key found nearby. So it wasn't still in the, but it was bent. Her high heels, blow dryer, and earrings were scattered on the ground by the car, and police did find a partial palm print on the car. Inside Jodi's apartment, nothing seemed out of place. In interviews with neighbors, some people said they heard a scream around 4:30 a.m., but they did not call police. A man who lived nearby said he saw a light-colored van in the lot, but it was never located. So keep that in mind, because I think Jodi, because so we have this witness, or a man who lived nearby, said that he saw a light-colored van, supposedly, allegedly. And I think Jodi had made mention of I don't know if it's a white van or some kind of white vehicle that she thought had been kind of hanging around, watching her. You know, she had seen it around her apartments. John Van Cease also showed up at the crime scene that morning, which is when he told officers about Jodi visiting with him that night before to borrow the videotape. Police assembled search teams, but they did not find Jodi, even as the search expanded. On July 3rd of 1995, police called off searches for Jodi, but continued to work on the case, which is being treated as an abduction. In September of 1995, Jodi's family hired private investigators and appeared on national television to try to make progress on the case. Over the years, police and private investigators conducted more than 1,000 interviews, but none led to finding Jodi. In May of 2001, Jodi's family had her declared legally deceased. March 17th of 2017, police executed a search warrant on John Van Cease, whom they identified as a person of interest. Okay, so this is where Minnesota comes in. In October of 2024, police searched a construction site in rural Minnesota after a tip. But as far as I remember, they didn't find anything. November of 2024, private investigator Steve Ridge, who has been working on the case since 2019, said in interviews that Jodi had a new boyfriend at the time of her disappearance. This boyfriend was questioned and cleared by police. Ridge said that he believes jealousy played a role in Huisentruit's disappearance. So I think that this is maybe where Van Cease comes in, is that maybe because even though he was older, quite a bit older than Jodi, but I think maybe he had a thing for her, and then might have found out that she had this new boyfriend and wasn't happy about it, maybe. So Ridge told News Nation that he has narrowed down the suspect pool to 4 people, though he did not name them. So in December of 2024, in December of 2024, John Van Cease did pass away. I think it was of natural causes. He might have had cancer or something that he had been fighting. So in April 30th, 2025, police unsealed part of a search warrant for Van Cease, which reveals police tracked his vehicles from Iowa to his new home in Arizona. So that's just a timeline for anybody that might not be familiar with the case. All right, so I think I can just click, well, I have it saved. All right, so what, if anything, did they find in this search warrant? So this article is also from News Nation, and it is from April 30th of 2025. So a search warrant in the case of Jodi Huisentruit has been partially unsealed, revealing GPS data obtained by officers. Huisentruit, a news anchor in Mason City, Iowa, disappeared in 1995. The case remains unsolved, though investigators believe it could still be cracked. The search warrant reveals that police tracked John Van Cease's car and truck from Iowa to his new home in Arizona in March of 2017. Little else was revealed in the unsealed portion of the warrant. Van Cease was considered a person of interest in the case, an acquaintance of Jodi's. He was believed to be the last person to see her alive, and was considered a person of interest, but never named as a suspect or charged in the case. Van Cease allegedly called the news station to ask if Jodi was there before she had been reported missing, which led police to question him. Van Cease said at the time that he had cooperated with investigators and was not involved in her disappearance. So Van Cease's family petitioned for the warrants to be unsealed to clear his name after his death in 2024. Jodi's family objected, fearing information in the warrant could compromise the investigation if it were made public. However, a judge recently ruled that it could be released because no information in the warrant would compromise the investigation. Judge James Drew said that since there is no statute of limitations for homicide, the state's interest in protecting her case outweighs the public interest in disclosure. So after Jodi disappeared, police were focused on 2 SOs in the area, but they eventually ruled them out. And this was before Van Cease became a person of interest. In November of 2024, Steve Ridge, a licensed private investigator who has worked on their case since 2019, spoke with News Nation about potential suspects, and once again, he claimed that he has his list down to 4 people. He also believes that jealousy over a newly discovered secret relationship could have led to Jodi's disappearance. He said that she had started dating a man from out of state in the days leading up to her disappearance. Make sure I'm not skipping over anything. I got so many ads popping up. According to Ridge, the relationship started 2 Saturdays before and involved almost daily contact, which included golf outings, dinner dates, and drinks at whoever it was, this man's home. Ridge said, I think plain and simply things came to a head given the fact that she had developed this new relationship. I believe this was ultimately the motive for a confrontation that would have occurred in the parking lot at her apartment. Through his investigation, Ridge said he narrowed down his list of suspects from 29 to 4 individuals, though he declined to name them. Excuse me. He said, I'm 100% certain that I do have Jodi's offender, or at least abductor, on my list. So once again, it's just going through what we went through. She was reported missing when she failed to show up that morning. They found all the struggle in the parking lot. Okay, so remember earlier, a man who lived nearby said he claimed that he saw a light-colored vehicle or van. So Jodi had also reportedly mentioned being followed by a man in a white truck 1 year before her disappearance. So this was 1 year before she disappeared. She mentioned being followed by a man in a white truck. In 2024, so they searched the property in Winston, Minnesota. According to the group findjodi.com, the search was around land that surrounded the construction site where an apartment complex was being built. I think that's about it. So anyone with information on Jodi's case should contact the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation or the Mason City Police Department in Iowa. So I didn't really say all it said, and they said it was a partial unsealing. They didn't unseal everything, but as far as Verville was concerned, all they said was that they tracked his GPS movements on 2 of his vehicles. Let me find it. I have to go back down. No, let me find it. Was basically they just tracked 2 of his vehicles from his where he lived in Iowa to his new home in Arizona. Now I don't know if that was back when this happened or late, or I mean, just doesn't. It's very vague, obviously. So I don't know. I'm with Arctic though. I don't know. It's if possibly this. I'm just going through scenarios. But please in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, in the comments, if you have any ideas or theories. They talked about she had a new boyfriend, secret boyfriend. It could be that if Verville was the one that did it, he was jealous and confronted her, abducted her, whatever. Or it could be if she a year before she disappeared, she said that she had been followed around by a man in a white truck. And then I'm trying to find, and then after she disappeared, a man who lived nearby her apartment said that he saw a light colored van or a light colored something in that area that apparently he had never seen before, or what. So we don't know. So those are my 2 theories. It was either Verville or it was, I don't know, somebody who had been stalking her. I don't know. Or it could be Verville drove a white truck or a white vehicle. But anyway, as usual, let me know what you guys think. Oh man, my StreamYard pooped out on my computer. Let me see if I can get it back. Hold on. If not, I'll just work off the phone. So I think that was the last story we had. Sorry if my voice is scratchy, but man. All right, give me 1 second to see if I can get back into my comments. There we go. Okay. Oh, Doodles says I had to step away. My grandson had to have 40 hugs and the peanut butter sandwich to sleep. Ooh, that sounds good. Peanut butter sandwich sounds good. 40 hugs sounds good too. Chris says he's getting tired and ready to sleep. You and me both. Yeah. Doodle says don't forget the peanut butter sandwich. Oh. All right, you guys got any comments, theories, suggestions on this case? Oh, or anything else that you guys want to talk about? Let's see, we've been on here. Oh, almost 3 hours, so we'll probably start wrapping it up here. But yeah, like I said, this is one of the cases I've been interested in. Like I said, even before I started doing the YouTube thing, was this case. I watched so many documentaries on TV and whatnot about back in the day about this case. Do we have any? And I forgot to save them. Any other Amber Alerts or Silver Alerts that anybody knows about that's out, maybe out currently? I know 2 popped up on my notifications on my phone, but I forgot to save them on my browser on my phone. I know there was a Silver. Okay, Michelle says the case of Stephanie Cole would like you to cover it. I will definitely look into it. Absolutely. Let's see if I can find any basic stuff, and then hold on. Give me a second. Stephanie Cole, is it a missing case or a homicide? Let me picking on my keyboard. Here, hold on. Let me see if this will come up or it's behind a paywall. Oh, is she an older lady? I don't know if Michelle's still here. Oh yeah, she should be. Homicide. Oh, I might have looked at this one. Stephanie Cole. Dan Cole, her son. I found an article. Dan Cole, son of Stephanie Cole, displays a reward poster for the slain Arnold woman at his home in Freeport. Is that around the right one? Let me take this down for a minute and see if it'll let me share my screen. I think I don't know if I think I've heard about this case. Let's see if it'll share it. It may take it a minute to pop up. Oh, Ken Main's covered. Okay. Oh, that's probably where I've seen. Yeah, Michelle said yes. An older lady, Detective Main's covered it. Yes, I think maybe that's where I heard it from. I've watched him. I haven't watched his channel in a while, but yeah, I've watched most of his stuff that he's done. Unsolved No More, is that the one you're talking about? The channel, Ken Main's. Okay. So I'll just read this article, but yes, I will definitely. Oh God, I'm trying to get rid of ads. So this is from triblive.com. It's from July 2024. Homicide of Arnold's Stephanie. What state is this? I'm sure it'll tell. Of Arnold Stephanie Cole remains cold case 31 years later. Son pins hopes on technological advances. Dan Cole is pinning his hopes on advances in technology and DNA testing to help solve the homicide of his mother, Stephanie, who was brutally stabbed 31 years ago this week at her home in Arnold. Okay, this is the right one. Good. Okay. For years, we were begging the Westmoreland County DA's office to send the DNA to get the genealogical testing done. Pennsylvania. Okay, Pennsylvania. Okay, thank you. So this is from Pennsylvania. So for years, we were begging the Westmoreland County DA's office to send the DNA to get the genealogical testing done. They finally did it about 2.5 years ago, but we have heard nothing. Said Cole, I'm assuming this is her son, who at 77 is 3 years older than his mother when she was SA'd and stabbed July 16th, 1993. Her body was discovered by the landlord in her apartment behind 4th Avenue. Police at that time said her throat was cut and a design was carved into her back. Oh, yeah, it's coming back to me now. Yes. Okay. Cyril Wecht told me it was one of the most brutal homicides that he had ever seen. Cole said he couldn't believe that in such a small town where everyone knows, everyone, that it wasn't solved quickly. Cole said time has lessened the pain, but not his drive to know what happened. I not only want to know who, but why, said Cole of Buffalo Township. In the decades since the Stephanie Cole case ran cold, advances in DNA and forensic technology, such as genetic genealogy and familial DNA, have helped police identify suspects in many cold cases. Offenders of certain crimes are required to submit their DNA into a national database, which can aid in solving crimes. Last week, District Attorney Nicole Ziccarelli announced the hiring of Texas-based Othram. They do a lot of these testing in these cold cases, to evaluate and study DNA samples in older cases where investigations have stalled. The hope is results will help formulate new leads or identify suspects in violent crime cold cases. Ziccarelli said, we're always looking at every avenue to develop leads and bring perpetrators to justice. I cannot imagine the relief and reassurance this could bring a victim or family if it leads to a resolution and justice. Othram will be paid through a $50,000 state grant to review evidence in as many as 10 violent crimes that remain unsolved. But it says Cole's case, however, will not be among them, according to Melanie Jones, spokeswoman for the DA's office. The DA's office within the past 3 years sent Cole's DNA to another lab, and detectives are following up on those results. She said, we are still actively investigating the case. The news did not sit well with Dan Cole. He said, we met with the DNA and detectives 2.5 years ago, and it was a good meeting, but there's been nothing since. They said they have several names they're following up on, but there's still no results. Detective John Clark, head of the investigation, did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Ziccarelli said every case her office investigates and prosecutes is a priority. She said, as the district attorney, I want to devote whatever resources necessary to bring a resolution to a case, no matter how long it takes. Cole, in recent years, has reached out to other local investigators and hired private detective Ken Maines, who has been featured on TV's History Channel. Maines produced a 70-page report naming 3 people he believes could be linked to the offense or to the case, to the killing, homicide. Ziccarelli's office does have the findings. In the meantime, Cole continues to offer a $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of a suspect. For years, he hung posters throughout his mother's Arnold neighborhood, but says he no longer bothers. This breaks my heart. He said, it doesn't mean we've given up. I'm going to keep it out there by talking about it so people do not forget. I know my mother would say for us to keep on living, and sure, it's a little easier to deal with after all this time, but sometimes the memories pop right out. Absolutely. Yes. So after, yes, thank you, Michelle. So yeah, after I started reading about it, yeah, I remember, and probably from the Unsolved No More channel. That's probably where I was first brought in the my attention brought to it. So thank you, Michelle. Yes, we might do a live stream. We could do a live stream about it, because I've been thinking about you guys. Whatever, this channel is not for me; it's for y'all. So if there's any low profile, high profile cases that you want to talk, do a live stream about, instead of just kind of doing these kind of generic, which these are important. I like doing these, just, discussing some different stuff, maybe once a month or so, or twice a month. We could do just for one of these, we could concentrate on just one case and see what we can dig up on it and discuss it and give our viewpoints such as they are. And but yeah, that would be awesome. So you guys just let me know what I'm trying to think of the best way. If you're on Facebook, you can Facebook Messenger me. You can always where's it at? There it is. Email me, southerngaltruecrime@hotmail.com with any cases. Comment on any of the videos or live streams in the comments. But hey, can you, maybe do a live stream on this or that, whatever. It could be missing persons. It could be unsolved homicide, cold cases, newer cases, whatever. And we could do that, whatever you guys want. I said, I'm here for you. All right, let me stop sharing that and put, oh, goodness gracious. There we go. I think, yeah, Jodi's case was the last one I had for tonight. So we're about 3 hours. So we're probably going to wrap this up. Oh, let me get back to comments. Michelle says, I always wonder how someone can do such a horrible crime and continue to live their lives like nothing, and sometimes not even reoffend. I know, it's crazy. It's just, I don't understand it. I mean, I wonder about it. I don't understand it either, dear. I think that's what makes this being interested in reading up, researching, studying up on different cases. It's just, it's frustrating, but and it's interesting, and it's just, yeah. You can go down rabbit holes. I'm telling you. It just makes you wonder what kind of person, what kind of person that, could do this. Somebody, not a good person, obviously. Yes, I did see that. Michelle says, did you see the trial for the homicide of Crystal Rogers started a few days ago? Yes. I've been trying to keep up with it. I think one of the lawyer channels on here, Lawyer Lee, maybe. I think she's actually been going to in the courtroom for the trials. I haven't got over to watch any of her, and then afterwards she'll do a live stream or a video on, what was going on in the case. But yeah, that's another case. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but yeah, because wasn't she was killed, her dad ended up getting killed, and then was it Brooks Houcks or someone? I know Houcks is one of the ones on trial, right? And I can't remember all the relationships except for, I know she passed away. She was the victim of homicide. Her father was. And there's something about a police officer tried to cover up something that maybe another police officer or somebody involved in the case tried to cover something up with. I don't know. It's a whole big. You could go down a rabbit hole with this case. Yes, it was Lawyer Lee. Yeah, I like watching her. I like watching her stuff. Yeah. I watched a lot of her stuff when she's done. What was I watching? What was the last one she covered? But yeah, I like watching her stuff. So yeah, Crystal has never been found. and her father was pew-pewed, right, from like a long distance. He was it was when he like standing out in a field or in a pasture, and I know it's in the country somewhere or a rural part area, and somebody shot him. If I'm thinking of the right case. But yeah, we can. I'll look for updates for that too. But yeah, I think it is. Yeah, okay. The brother. So Michelle said that. Yeah, the brother of the boyfriend was a police officer. Yeah, and when they think that he tried to cover something up or whatever. Yes, Lawyer Lee did cover. Maybe that's what I was watching. Yeah, she did cover Delphi. Yes. Yep. Yes, absolutely. Conrad Ashcraft, yes, but he isn't a cold case. That's fine. I'll do any cold cases, or I love cold cases, but I will do any. It doesn't matter. It could be happen yesterday, and I will cover it. Yes, 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 yes. I've seen you've been doing some stuff on it. Absolutely. I'll consider covering it if you consider Miss Doodle coming on here with me and discussing it with me, because I'm sure you know I haven't dug deep into it. Was he the one that was in the I don't want to misspeak. Which was the little boy that was was he the one from the day that was found deceased in the daycare, or something, had something to do with the daycare, or was that something? Is that a different one? Is it a little boy? I don't want to misspeak and get my cases, but yeah, whatever it is, yes, yeah, her father, Crystal's father was pew-pewed, killed on his own property. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I got the right one. That's what I thought. Yes, he was 3 years old in daycare. Yes, I've been watching and reading the stuff that you've been posting about that. Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. So next time I have a free, since I'm assuming you have most of your Friday nights free, Miss Doodle. So it'll probably be not this Friday because it'll be family game night, but Friday after next. If I don't have anything going on, because sometimes we have stuff that comes up with family. Yeah, we can. You can come on here if you want to, and Artie, anybody's welcome. Anybody's welcome to come on. Yeah, we can discuss it, absolutely, because that is just, like I said, I haven't deep dive, but yeah, just from what you've been posting about it and stuff, yeah, horrible. Yes, he was nonverbal and autistic. Mm. All right, thank you, ma'am. I don't know if Arctic is still. Yes, I will definitely let you know. Absolutely. I don't know if Arctic is still lurking in the bushes. He might be sleeping by now. He said he was going to watch it on TV or listen. All right, guys. I think that is it. But yeah, feel free anytime. Like I said, if you're on Facebook, you can messenger me, email me, southernguytruecrime@hotmail.com. Leave a comment on any of the videos or anything that's already posted on my channel. I can do I'll try to do a community post. Not a poll, but what cases or whatever would you like to discuss, and then y'all can comment in the comments. Y'all can let me know. Absolutely. Doodle says it's very sad, but if we let this go quiet, he won't get justice. Oh yeah, I'm all for it. Yes, when it comes to everybody, but especially when it comes to kids, absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys, I think we're at almost a 3-hour mark, so I think we're going to get out of here. But thank you so much, as always, everybody that was here in chat, anybody who's watching replay. We love Replay Crew. Thank you to hold on, doing some multitasking here. Thank you to the members. Thank you to subscribers. Thank you, everybody. Even if you're not a subscriber, if you're new here, or if you just pop in every once in a while to watch a live stream or a video, if you like what you see here, if you're interested in missing persons cases, cold cases, any kind of cases, please consider subscribing. Absolutely. So Monday, I'm not going to promise, but I'm about 99%. Hold on, my TV's trying to update. No, we don't want to update. Anyway, my TV was doing weird things. I lost my train of thought. I should be back to missing person Monday, this coming Monday. And I think we're doing Hawaii. I think that's what we were up to in the because we're doing the western states, and they had Hawaii in the western states. So I got to get my slideshow and everything researched for that. So until Monday, everybody, be careful out there. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Just always be aware of your surroundings. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Everybody, stay cool. Stay safe. And as usual, we're going to leave on lighten it up a little bit. We are going to, I'll send you out with Little Biscuit and Tigger. And once again, thank you to everybody. And I will see you guys Monday.